Okay. I gotta turn this down though. How's it going, everybody? There we go. Somebody wants to come up, dude.
Yo, what's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Yo, I just had a question regarding teaching from like a catechumen standpoint or like an Inquirer standpoint.
Okay.
So because obviously you agree that like Inquirers and catechumens can make like statements like Jesus is God, right?
Yeah. I mean, anybody can declare that Jesus is Lord, sure.
So do you believe that Inquirers and catechumens can make statements on orthodoxy?
I mean, I believe that they're capable of it. Yeah, sure. I mean, like I know multiple catechumens, honestly, or people that used to be catechumens and are not catechumens anymore, that are actually smarter than some people that are baptized intellectually, right? Now, granted, whether or not they're spiritually healthy enough to actually perform apologetics is a different story, right?
Yeah. So like if somebody hasn't got like a blessing to teach or do apologetics, like what exactly would you cash out as teaching if it's not just like making statements about orthodoxy?
I would have to say, like, so it's kind of a toughie, right? Because like I'm not the type of guy that kind of goes around and says like, "Hey, bro, stop doing this. You're not baptized." Like, like I'm not the kind of guy to do things like that normally. Because like I actually received my blessings for apologetics like while I was a catechumen, to be fair. So I mean, like, it depends on your priest. It depends on basically how much you do know and how much you spiritually practice, right? So like all of that kind of stuff kind of applies to your spiritual life. So at the end of the day, you can create like a general rule, like the church would generally do, which is like, hey, you should not do this if you don't have a blessing. But there's nothing that's actually in the church that says you have to have a blessing in order to do it. It's just dangerous, right? It's spiritually dangerous because if you're not somebody who's spiritually pointed towards God, which is not something that happens officially until you're baptized, you have a pretty easy chance at possibly falling away, right?
Right. So, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So do you know of any like fathers that speak about this? Because obviously like it doesn't seem like it's very like it's not dogma to like not teach as an Inquirer or whatever. But
yeah, St. John of Damascus actually talks about it in the philosophical chapters. It's in the Fount of Knowledge. In the philosophical chapters, he actually talks about like his introduction to the whole book before he actually starts getting into like all the metaphysics. He kind of like does like an introductory thing where he's like, look, this isn't for everybody. Like talk to your spiritual father before you kind of like get into stuff like that. It's kind of like you can see seeds of that type of instruction existing. Like even in the first millennia, people saying like, look, if you get a hold of this work, like don't read this unless you're actually like authorized to read this. Like things like, I mean, back in the day, actually, back in like the first millennia, actually, there were people that weren't even allowed to read theological works if they weren't a theologian. Like I mean, nowadays, like anybody can just look stuff up online and just read whatever they want. But
yeah, but would you say that's kind of dangerous though? Because I've heard a lot of people say that like if you don't have a blessing from like your spiritual father, you can't actually dive into like theological works like Palamas or something.
Well, I mean, because you have to remember that like theology, like theology and prayer and like spiritual life, all that kind of stuff has to go hand in hand. Like it has to go all together. I can't remember who it is, but there is a church father that states very explicitly And I hate that I can't bring the name because it sounds like I'm just making this shit up. But
No, you're good. You're good.
the father said something along the lines of, a proper theologian. Oh,
At
sorry about that.
Zangrimodic
You're good.
5974 super chatted $5. I'm a catechumen. Taught Bryce everything he knows about being pious and humble.
Damn.
Okay, bro.
Yo.
Yeah. Thank you for the $5, bro. But you're lying, bro. Okay. Anyway, thank you for that, though. No. So he said something along the lines of, if a theologian is not praying, he's just a philosopher. Right, like something along those lines, where basically, like, in a general sense, you can see what he's actually saying. He's saying that if you don't have a good spiritual life, then all you're doing is philosophy. You're not actually doing theology, because theology comes with prayer, spiritual life, and all that stuff, like, coming together, right? Like, it's all necessary in order for you to be a theologian. So that's why getting a blessing is so important, because if you have a blessing to do apologetics, that's basically the priest kind of taking on a responsibility to a degree of your spiritual life, right? And, you know, possibly having the ability to control what you should and shouldn't debate, because some people, you know, like, they step into places they shouldn't. They, you know, like, they'll I'm trying to think of like an example. Like, for example, actually, an example for me personally, one of the first formal debate I ever had, I got absolutely slaughtered. It's
Really?
there's not really any footage of it anywhere. It was only in like one place, and then it got deleted because, like, it was just, people just, like, kind of didn't watch it. But my very first formal debate that I ever had was on the essence energies distinction against a Thomist, and I got absolutely slaughtered, dude. I did not talk to my priest about debating him. I did not. Basically, I stepped outside of what I was probably recommended to do, and I paid for it. I was embarrassed. I was massively embarrassed by that debate, you know. And, you know, God can use things like that to humble you. Which Thomist was it? Well, he's not a Thomist anymore, but it was Legacy. It was that guy that used to be a Thomist named Legacy.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
Yes, EED is necessary for the Trinity. But yeah, they said SA in and SA add, and something, and Bryce instantly lost. Yes, that's pretty much what happened, actually. So pretty much, like, he just started using, like, general terms. Actually, hilariously enough, Rabbi Talon's in here. He remembers the debate. He hosted it for me. My very first debate. It was hands down the worst slaughtering I've ever received in my life. It was so bad for me that it caused me to change the entire way that I study theology.
Argument was probably like, are the energies rigid designators?
He did ask that question, and I did not know what that meant, bro. But I didn't want to say that I didn't know what that meant. So I just started going, I don't really think it falls into that category. Like, that's the type of stuff I was saying instead of answering the question. Right? Like, I was dodging around it. And that's something that I can admit, you know, like, it took me a while to be able to admit stuff like that, to be able to humble myself enough. But it changed a lot about me in terms of the way that I actually enter or study orthodoxy in, like, any sense. Because I got cooked so badly that I basically entered, like, I don't want to be corny, but, like, kind of like a villain arc type thing. You know what I mean? Where, like, I was just, and that's why do you think I care so much about EED now? Why do you think that's, like, my main thing that I love talking about? Because it's basically all I studied for, like, 6 months straight, just boom, boom. But, like, all I cared about, bro. Libiano said, good debate verse with Aaron Ra. Thank you. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, you should come debate Bryce J now.
That was a huge freaking, absolutely a huge L for that. I don't understand. Like, first off, I don't even know how I was able to do that debate, because Aaron Ra, like, just appears, like, once in a blue moon, and then just, like, it's so funny. Like, he'll appear once in a blue moon and debate some random people, bro. Like, I'm, like, a random compared to him. I mean, that dude's got his own Wikipedia page, bro. Like, I don't got that. I don't got a Wikipedia page.
Wait, did your priest knows you debated Aaron Ra, though, right?
No, he did not. No, my priest. So I usually don't involve my priest too much. Like, I'll just say this, like, out loud. Like, I don't usually involve my priest when it comes to, like, specific formal debates. If it's one of those kind of situations where it's like, oh, like this is just basically going to be a performance. Like that's pretty much like usually that's when I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna do this. But like if I'm having a formal debate with somebody where like I feel like I'm spiritually like struggling, like I'm like nervous, I'm like a wreck, you know, like I'm not doing well preparing for it, like I'm struggling to study, all of these kind of things, that's usually when I'll approach my priest. Now, granted, that's not advice. I don't think that that's how people should handle that, but I'm kind of closed off, you know, so I'm not like super, you know, tell my priest everything about my life type thing as much as possible. You know what I mean? Like some people are kind of different with how they are with their priests, and that's just how I am. I'm cool with being open about it, you know, because it also helps humble me when people know, you know, rise. Yeah, I'm a rise bunch of people. Hold on.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also heard that you're debating Reformed authority. Like, there's a scheduled debate you have pretty soon. Is that true?
Yeah, me and Yakovos actually are formally debating Reformed authority and authority. Sorry, authority. I don't know how to say that sex correctly. And then I think they call him Baby Umar. They don't call him Umar technically because that's like Muslim Lighthouse, but his name is Baby Umar, where he's got like the formologic not symbol, and then it's
it's like
Umar,
the double
you know that
negation
guy?
thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
the
I know what you're talking
double
about.
negation Umar. Yeah, that one. So it's like the different Umar. And it's just going to be on Trinity versus Tawhid, pretty much. And it's like, literally, we're just going to throw stuff at each other, and that's pretty much the entire debate.
Hey, could I ask a couple? I'm Muslim, but I've been reading the Gospels lately. I had a couple questions. Is that fine?
Yeah, sure, bro. Go ahead.
Number one, I just want to ask, like, what makes you Christian? And like in comparison, like, what's unique that makes you Christian
Are
instead
you
of any
asking
other
like
religion?
what the prerequisites are to become a Christian? Is that what you're asking?
No, like, what makes you Christian? What makes you decide to be Christian rather than any other religion?
Oh. Well, I mean, I did like studying for like the three major religions mostly. Like, I didn't really do too much studying in like the pagan religions because it's kind of just like you see them and you're just like, okay, yeah, these people are just LARPing. And then I kind of
Yeah.
just walked away. You know, like so I never really went into like trying to study paganism or nothing like that.
Bryce was a
But
Hindu though.
I was not a Hindu. I was Buddhist. That's not the same. I was a Buddhist.
Same shit, bro. Come on.
It's not, bro. It's not. Buddhism is atheistic at its root. You know, Hinduism is like polytheism. Like Buddhism is like no god, and just think of nothing. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
Okay. So then Christianity, with all the other two Abrahamic religions, what makes you Christian?
I believe that there's actually the most amount of attestation possible for, at least empirically, that was the first thing that kind of convinced me of Christianity, for the religion actually being the case. And that was just based off of my own studies. I didn't look a
Attestations
lot.
for what?
Attestations for like the religion actually being true, like people actually writing about it and not just in, like a folklore manner. You know, like there's a lot of things like with Judaism, for example, where like most of their interpretations of the Old Testament stem from post-Christian opinions, right? So I automatically
Well,
thought to myself, like, that seems problematic to be rabbinic because all of the people that they're reading that tell them to be rabbinic come after Christianity,
I mean,
right?
I
Like,
feel like historically, like a lot of the writings, like actual documents that they might have found, like historians, like it's hard to find documents that are that old in terms of like the religion of Judaism. So that's why like a lot of rabbis in the
well,
early like first century and prior to that, like you don't have many of their works because
but you have
obviously
to
just
remember
poor
though.
preservation.
Yeah, but you have to remember though that like in Christianity, like all of the stuff that we do have prior to Christ, right? Like in our and obviously in the Christian's opinion, that's prophesying that it's prophesying Christianity to be the case. So that's the difference. Is that like even if like you show me something in Judaism back in that day, first off, like I would say that you can't actually find things that support the rabbinic understanding prior to the Old Testament or during the Old Testament time. 1 second here.
Guy has been debating Christians since forever and still thinks the average Christian position is Arianism for Christ and modalism for the Trinity. Lol.
Oh, you talk about Aaron Ra? I agree. Yeah, Aaron Ra, like the way that he actually attempted to refute me was absolutely ridiculous. Like it made absolutely no sense. He's like, Jesus never even claimed to be God in the Bible, and I'm just like, brother, like first off, you're an atheist. I can't like, bro, come on, man, like don't start.
But yeah, so like I would just say that like a lot of things, core doctrines within Christianity, like historians would just completely disregard and deny, like even the Gospels being attributed to the actual like apostles or people that were apostles of apostles, right? So like they would just deny that they were actually written, like John was written by the actual John that Jesus knew, and that Matthew, Mark, Luke, like they would deny that, right? Like historically,
Do you know
it's
why they
not
deny
taken
it?
as fact. Yeah, like literary dependency
Yeah,
is like the
literary
number one
literary
reason.
depend. Do you know one of the biggest problems with the literary dependency argument?
What?
Well, one, even if I were to concede just to basically be like a, like a sophist, and just say, okay, fine, let's only talk about the Book of Mark, right? Because like technically, like the literary dependency thing would start at Mark, right? Like I can make an entire argument just from like Luke and Mark, which are considered like the originating spots, right? I can just make arguments for Jesus claiming all these things just in those gospels. And there's already multiple things still in Mark and in Luke and all of these things that still contradict like all of the contrary positions. Not to mention that Mark and Luke also attest to the people that come after them, right? So, yeah, I know Luke is technically speaking dependent on Mark in it to a degree because Luke
And Matthew.
was a historian.
Yeah.
Luke was a historian. He wasn't somebody who was actually with Christ technically. So yeah, I know that part.
And
But
Matthew.
yeah, it would be dependent on Mark and Matthew because Luke was not actually attesting to something that he physically saw regarding Jesus. He was attesting to Mark and Matthew's testimony.
What do you think, like historically, like the reliability of every story within Luke would be? Because most of them would have been flowing throughout oral tradition, and oral tradition obviously is not the most reliable source of like transfer of information. You know.
Well, I mean, if you think that obviously Christianity wasn't assisted by God, then that would obviously be something that would be a valid argument.
Exactly.
Right.
That's why I'm saying like your argument of historical attestations for Christianity.
I already
Like, I would just-
believe that there had to be a God prior to choosing Christianity.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So
But I'm
like I
saying-
became a deist prior to looking into religions.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fine. But it's like Christianity in specific. Like I asked why you chose it over the other two Abrahamic faiths. And then you have attestations for Judaism, you have attestations for the Quran and Islam. So it's like what is over unique about Christianity that makes it better than those other two religions?
Well, I mean, upon like my first studying, I only like properly dove deeply into Christianity. I can admit that.
Okay.
Right. So like I'm okay with like admitting obviously that like when I first looked into religion in general, it was Christianity first because of course, I mean, that's what my entire country talks about all the time. So
No, yeah,
I
that's fine.
wanted to look into that first, right? And then once I started believing in the gospel, right? And sorry,
At
one second.
Octavian 33 super chatted $49.99 for the heating bill. Please lose the blankie.
Bro, look, dude, like I keep the house pretty cold because my wife complains, man. My wife complains that it's too hot in the house, so I let it be extremely cold and I just deal with it. All right. Thank you so much for the $50. That's a big super chat. I appreciate that. But that's messed up. Should low-key become a streamer? Nah, no need, dude. I have a good job. This is a hobby for me. That's why I'm not sitting here saying, please send me super chats or I'm going to die. You know, like that's why I don't do things like some
Hi,
streamers do.
everyone.
Yeah. What's up?
Well, oh yeah, you could if you personally.
Oh,
No, you're good. I'll
Greg J,
come
can I
back
ask
to you. It's
something
just
real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt on your convo. I wanted to ask, in the Eastern, for Eastern faith, it's quite hard for me because I know that whenever we're defending the faith, we're meant to mostly reference church documents, right? We're not actually meant to be using scholastic terminology.
I mean, I'm not somebody who
You,
says that.
you don't hold to that? Oh, interesting. Okay. So do you think that we can almost scholasticize our beliefs?
At
Damn.
Octavian 33 super chatted $19.99 for a Snuggie.
Okay, bro. Thank you. Now I have $70 to be able to buy a super big Snuggie. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $20. Oh my gosh, Orthodox Snuggie. I'll see if those exist. I don't know if those exist though. Somebody send me a DM on Discord if you find an Orthodox Snuggie. But
Okay.
Anyway, what were you
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Because okay. And then another question I had was what? Okay, because I'm not sure. I couldn't find something on this. You know how Catholics say that there is logical priors between the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Father. So the
Mhm.
Father is one, the Son's two, and then the Holy Spirit's three.
Yeah.
we would also hold that they're 1, 2, 3, right?
Only in respect to cause, right? So you can say only in respect to cause that could be the case, but we do not believe that can be purported using the psychological analogy. That you can't determine logical priority just by the psychological analogy. That's where we kind of split from the Catholics. The Catholics thinks that you can denote logical priority from that. We wouldn't say that automatically just applies by itself. When we're talking about the when we're talking about in respect to cause, right, we're just referring to the fact that if you use the psychological analogy, like in our view, like we have writings from Saint Philaret, for example, who these people are trolling me today.
5,974
How
super
how do you
chat
spell that?
$10.
Hold
At
on.
least rock the only canon blanket for a man. Standard issued Wooby poncho liner.
A W Army reference. I don't have mine anymore though. I never. I actually was never issued a proper Wooby. I only ever got the standard poncho, so I wasn't able to get the cool one. I had to pay for it. I didn't want to pay for it. But a W Army reference though. Appreciate that. Thank you for the $10. The Yeah, I know Saint Basil coming in clutch. Thank you. What was I saying?
Saint
Losing my spot.
Philaret.
I need to change that noise. Yeah. Anyway, Saint Philaret actually has an entire thing on the psychological analogy and basically how, to a degree, basically you'd say that if we were talking about the psychological analogy, then the Son and the Spirit would proceed as in a general procession, not talking about specific begetting and procession, but in a general sense of proceeding as simultaneous, right? In terms of their logical priority, they would be simultaneous. But if you're talking about like in respect to cause as just like the general name of begetting or talking about the formal constituents, you could say, sure, the Son is logically prior to the Spirit. But even if the Son was logically prior to the Spirit in cause, it wouldn't necessitate, like, for example, that the Spirit would have to come from the Son. That's kind of like the whole argument that we give regarding that.
Okay, appreciate that. And then one last thing before I go down. What view of logic do you hold to? Actually, two questions.
View of logic. What?
Yeah, like what logical system do you hold to?
Logical. So, like, are you talking about like formal logic or like modal logic?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm okay with using any of them. Like, but I do believe obviously that there's some degrees where some of them obviously don't really apply to God, depending on how hard they're used. So, like, if you're using, for example, like analytical philosophy to try to determine the ontology of God, I don't think that most religions would be okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a classical theist, so like I would obviously hold that like the only sense in which like an absolute internal critique of orthodoxy could apply is if you were capable of collapsing it in the classical theist tradition. You know, I don't think that you can apply neoclassical critiques or in a complete sense, or analytical critiques, or modal logic critiques and things like that. And like for example, like there's some people that make set theory arguments against like Christ having two natures, right? Like that type of thing. Like I don't believe that applies properly.
Yeah, because we wouldn't say that the divine nature is a set of properties.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay, cool.
So like, obviously they would start off the premise by stating that it would, but then of course you have to then show that God then therefore necessitates that he is set theoretical, which again you'd have to make an argument for God being set theoretical in order to prove that set theory collapses God into whatever the thing you're trying to make.
That's interesting. And then
Sorry, 1 second. No, this one didn't play because it was fake money. It was Canadian dollars. Nathan, for $5 Canadian, thank you very much. It says, heard a catechumen taught you everything you know about being humble and pious, but I didn't believe it. Actually, my name is Aaron Raw. I don't believe it all. Okay, bro. Thank you. I know you're trolling me. I did not learn everything from a catechumen. Appreciate it.
Okay, and last thing before I drop, can you give me some books on ED for like more specific questions?
I mean, you'd have to tell me like how good you are at EED already. Right, because like there's plenty of stuff I could recommend you that's like really deep stuff, but like if I recommend you something that's like crazy deep, it might just like throw you off if you're not already acquainted with EED.
I also got a recommendation for you as well.
Okay. I mean, just a couple of things. It's not like I just want to read one book. ED is something I want to be really proficient in. It's one of my favorite topics.
Have you read the Triads by St. Gregory Palamas?
I've read the abridged version and then the one that's approved, but I haven't read them in full.
Okay. So the abridged version is pretty good
Yeah.
overall, like
Yeah.
in general sense. Have you read the 150 chapters on theology?
No, I don't believe so. No, I
That's
don't.
another work. That's another work on EED by St. Gregory Palamas. That's a good work to read on it too. It's not crazy difficult. Some of it is difficult because it has nothing to do with EED. Like some of the stuff is just based on like the ontology of the soul and stuff. But like a lot of it is EED.
Mhm.
I would say honestly one of the best things to read to just understand the most general sense of EED though would be St. Basil's Letter 234. That's like honestly I think one of the best things. Or Exact Exposition of the Orthodox Faith by St. John of Damascus in book 1. I think it's book 1. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. I've been reading that. I've been reading St. John of Damascus now.
Yeah, book 1, and then I think starting in chapter 9. Yeah, starting in chapter 9. That's where he kind of starts getting into like energy and stuff like that. Also, book 2. Book 2 talks a lot about God's energies, talking about like the days of creation, all these types of things.
Atero 3590 super chatted $5. What is the person energy distinction? Saw you zeeted about it.
Oh yeah. So I mean I said it kind of as like a joke, right? Because like people always talk about person essence distinction. People always talk about essence energy distinction. A lot of people don't talk about the rarely talked about person energy distinction, and that's what the point of it is, that there's obviously a distinction between person and energy, and that's something that Saint Neolos Cabasilas talks about, which is like really cool the way he explicates it, because he pretty much says that it's like the same as like ED, where it would be like a formal actual distinction, which is it's really cool. It's in his Rule of Theology work, which is not easy to get a hold of. So if you guys want it, I do have it in my Discord server, but it's not kind of just like passed around a lot. So but you guys can get it from my server if you want it. It's the Rule of Theology.
Interesting. Well, can I ask a few questions before I leave? Because I honestly don't have enough time on my hands.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, I was born in a Christian community, Christian household. But recently, I'm questioning that faith.
Okay.
I'll say that. So, what attracted me here is your question. Why are you not Christian? I'd also like to ask the same question this guy next to me asked. Why are you Christian in the first place?
I mean, I'm Christian because, well, obviously, stage 1, I have the faith to believe that there is more to this world than just what's empirically verified. So that's kind of step 1 for me, of course. And 2, I'm also Christian because I believe that Christianity has enough historical attestation to be the case to where it could be the only religion that actually holds enough weight to be the case, or to be true properly.
Oh, okay.
And so like
Wow,
there's
that's all
philosophical there would be philosophical arguments that would go towards it. There would be arguments from historical attestation, like for example the church forming, being able to read the first Christians of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th century, etc., things like that. And then being able to obviously read like the Old Testament, and then showing obviously that the Old Testament is proclaiming the coming of Christ, which then would obviously show that the Jews would then be wrong in their attempt to interpret the scriptures, due to the fact that Jesus actually applies to all of the prophecies shown in the Old Testament, which is, hundreds and thousands hundreds, if not thousands of years prior to the New Testament, which is something that kind of matters the most to me.
Oh, okay. Well, what has been ringing in my head for a while and what I've been reading on about is, since I was taught from a very young age that God is all-loving, all-powerful, and all-knowing, yet somehow, this might sound like, like an old debate or whatever, but I feel like I need some
So it sounds
clarity
like
on that.
the problem of evil, it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, that exactly. The Holocaust, slavery,
Well, do
families
you think?
getting
I mean,
bombed up in Sudan and all that.
Well,
And
we don't
like,
believe obviously
since
that God did all those things, right?
yes, I know. Like,
Okay.
if he's all loving, why would he do that?
He doesn't
But
do that.
like, yeah, that's the point. But like, if he had so much power and so much care, why wouldn't he stop all that?
Well, it's because of the fact that God created everything for its intention, right, for the way in which it was
Wasn't.
intended to be. So God didn't create things to then therefore basically fix every little mistake that human beings made. He created us for the purpose of us basically being one with him. And so whether or not somebody basically decides to move away from that, he obviously gave us free will, which the ability for people to be able to move away from him in the first place will cause bad things to happen. If God simply just stepped in every single moment that someone did something evil, nobody would technically be able to have the free will to move away from him. So it is sadly just an effect of the fact that God allows us to have free will, which then causes human beings to do bad things. God being powerful and knowing, God being all powerful and all knowing doesn't really necessitate that he would then therefore be inclined, right, to stop every little thing. Because if that was the case, then technically you wouldn't even know the difference between being with God versus not being with God, because he just doesn't let you actually walk away from him, right?
But then there was so many civilizations before Christianity was established with these
I mean, I would obviously
gods and
disagree,
all
right?
that.
Because
So
I mean, I would disagree, obviously, that there was like civilizations that or religions that it technically existed prior to it, right? Because like the book of Genesis is like an
here in
account of the
Africa,
very first humans. So like even though that, yes, archaeologically you could say that it seems like there was religions that came before Christianity, we would say that Christianity is the first religion to ever exist because Adam and Eve are Christians.
Adam and Eve are Christians. Okay. But I mean, like, when you take into context everything we know about Africa and how African spirituality, let me just say that, how they are believed to be one of the first, type of religion or type of, all that mess. So you mean to tell me that people who were never exposed to Christianity, people who were born into all these different religions and all that, are in a way damned?
I mean, just
I
because of
don't
the
know.
fact that just because of the fact that there's other religions that exist, like that on, like in my view, of course,
That have
like that
never
that
seen a
should,
missionary or heard.
yes, and those people, right? Everybody is judged individually
Sorry.
from their deeds. So at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen to people who have never in any way, shape, or form seen God, or seen God, or seen a priest, or seen anything, right? There's well, first off, like we don't know for a 100% fact what happens to those people. We don't make claims about them. Okay, it says that God judges everybody individually. So at the end of the day, I'm not on the seat of Christ. I can't determine how he's going to judge those people. So I don't really have like an answer for you when it comes to like that part. But what I can say is that based off of like the way that my view works is that even if there are other religions, I believe that those religions that were invented were due to the fact that they actually started worshiping creatures. They started worshiping creations. In Genesis, it talks about how that there were fallen angels that fell down to earth and basically remained there for long periods of time. It doesn't. I'm not talking about like as deep as like the Book of Enoch, but like in a general sense that there were fallen angels that came to earth and they stayed here. And so all of these pagan religions, I'm not saying Africans, I don't know much about African spirituality, but like in a general sense with like all religions that worship things that are not the one true God, it's because of the fact that they worship a
At
creature.
Zangrimodic 5974 super chatted $5. My African spirituality told me to
Okay, I
open a
feel like
daycare in
people.
Minnesota.
Thank
Money
you.
bag emoji, money bag emoji, money bag emoji.
Thank you for the $5 there, Angry Medic. Oh, I hope that was able to answer your question there. Sorry, I saw that you left. But
Yo, Bryce, do you believe that everybody's gonna experience toll houses?
yeah, I believe that everybody in some way, shape, or form deals with toll houses. It's just the people that are not in Christ have to deal with toll houses perpetually until the last day.
Because I was gonna ask you this because I was just reading Saint Macarius's like Encounter with the Angel. You probably know what I'm talking about, and he said that the angel is going to be taking people to heaven to worship Christ. So, do you think that the angels are going to take everybody to worship Christ, and it's just they're going to be tested in toll houses on like the stages of the ladder and then fall?
Based off of what I've read from like Saint Gennadios, because he has a work on toll houses and as well as Father Seraphim Rose's explication on toll houses, is that every single person has the opportunity to attempt to climb the divine ladder. If they don't have the ability Some people will not have the ability, obviously, to actually get up there, of course, because they do not have a guardian angel. You have to remember that that angel that they're talking about in the toll houses is the guardian angel.
Mhm.
So everybody has the opportunity to attempt to ascend that divine ladder, but if they don't have their guardian angel, they don't have the ability to basically get rid of the how do I say this? They don't have the ability to get rid of the demonic oppression as they ascend, because it says that the
Yeah.
demons obviously are the ones who live in the air.
Yeah, of course, and also mentions like your guardian angel basically vouching for you almost for your good deeds and stuff. So you won't have an angel basically giving your good deeds against the demons giving your bad deeds. It seems like, um, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I was just reading that, but I didn't know because it seemed like not everybody would experience toll houses, but I guess that makes sense though.
Sadly, Sam, I don't know if you're actually Sam Shamoon, because a lot of people obviously like to use your name. But if you are, sadly, you only have 2 followers, so it doesn't allow me to invite you because of the fact that I think your account is brand new. So you have to wait until your account is at least 30 days old, I think, before you're capable of joining lives. What
Yeah,
source talks about toll houses? That would be, there's a couple works you can read on that. Most of them I obviously wouldn't recommend if you're just inquiring into orthodoxy at all, because they're just really like monastic. They're very monastic works. Like, for example, the Ladder of Divine Ascent from St. John of the Ladder. Like, again, like that's an amazing work, but if you're inquiring orthodoxy, I do not recommend you read that book at all, because it's really monastically heavy and most people are not spiritually capable of actually reading that. Honestly, AJ, I would recommend that before you start looking into the toll houses, like in a dogmatic sense, you could read On the Soul After Death by Father Seraphim Rose. That one's not crazy. All right. That one's not like crazy when it comes to like dogmatic affirmations. Okay. So like that's the best one that you can read if you're inquiring and you want to just learn about what they are. But if you're talking about like dogmatic affirmations regarding toll houses and like getting super deep into like the monastic part of it and like understanding like the deep spirituality that applies around the toll houses, I would wait until you are somebody who is at least a catechumen and receiving a blessing by your priest before reading works like Ladder of Divine Ascent, On the Soul After Death by St. Gennadios, which is not the same thing as Father Seraphim Rose's On the Soul After Death. Those are 2 different works. But yeah, there's a couple works on it. And there's actually some works from the first Millennia Fathers that talk a very small amount about it. It's not talked about a bunch because, of course, being able to describe what happens to people as soon as they die is not very easy to write theology on, because you kind of have to experience that to know it. So, you know, most people don't have works on that specific topic because it's kind of like, you know, it's not easy to actually get. The Soul After Death by Father Seraphim Rose, AJ. Yeah. That would be the main one. It's not easy to resurrect. Yeah, it's not easy to resurrect. I'll admit that. Yeah, for sure. It's not very easy to do that. It's a bit difficult. But yeah, to answer your question though, Ray, like everybody has the opportunity to ascend the ladder. Not everybody is going to actually succeed, of course. And if you don't have a guardian angel by not being baptized in Christ, then your chances of actually being able to do so is pretty much 0. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is 0, actually. That's kind of the whole point.
Okay. But you do believe, can you lose your salvation in toll houses?
I have not read on it enough to be able to say yes or no to that. I'm not sure. Because like there's
Somebody
kind of a
told me
difference. There's kind of a difference between our like view of like toll houses versus like understanding like purgatory to a degree. So like I can't tell you that for certain. I'm not sure.
Okay. That's cool.
Yes, Slime. It's properly only given through baptism. So you can't know if you actually have some form of guardian angel unless you are baptized. There may be angels that possibly try to guard people in a general sense if there's somebody who is trying to be saved, right? It's not the same. It's kind of like how it's kind of like Slime, how you could say that you don't possess the Holy Spirit until you're baptized, yet that you can still be led by the Holy Spirit if you're not baptized, because you can still listen to him if he's on you, which is not the same thing as the Holy Spirit being in you, right? public defender versus private lawyer. I mean, that's kind of a funny analogy, but I'm not sure if it would actually work like that.
Bryce, may I ask you some questions about it's the energy essence distinction, right?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm an atheist, but like I just it interested me. So it's from my like cursory understanding, it's from like Gregory, like or Saint Gregory, like Palamas, right?
Yeah, he was the one who
Right,
formalized it in the Orthodox Church, made it dogmatic belief. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's saying, he gives the analogy that kind of confused me, was we can so the whole energy essence distinction, right, is you can't know God's energy, right? Like his God, like I'm totally blundering with it. Like, okay, maybe the analogy will work better. So you can't know like the core of the sun essentially, but you can know like the effects of the sun, right? And like we can just interchange the energy with the core sun, with the sun's core with God's energy, right? We can like make those and say they're like analogous, right? And
it's more,
or maybe I'm misrepresenting it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
a little bit. I'll explain it.
Yeah.
Right. So like when Palamas is using the argument that you can't see the core of the sun, he's talking about the essence of God. Right. He's saying that you can't know what God is. You can't know what the thing is in of itself. Right. So when you're talking about the energy, that would be the light and the heat from that energy, or from the sun. Right. So it's something that's truly still coming from the sun. It's something that's still identified with the sun, but it is not something that obviously denotes entirely the core of the sun by itself. It denotes things of the sun, rather.
Okay. That clarified it. That was really all I had to ask.
Another way that the analogy is used as well is that if the sun, right, did not distribute light or heat, would you even know the sun existed?
Okay. Because I know that, or well, at least I think I know. Like when it comes to Eastern Orthodoxy, you guys go through like apophatic, right? Like basically what God is not.
When it comes
because
to
you guys don't. Yeah, when you guys because you guys can't, or you guys not can, but you guys won't claim that you know directly the attributes of God, right? Because that would put you on like you would be trying to put yourself on God's level, right? Essentially, like you would try to assume things about him, and that would be an issue, correct? Like I'm trying to learn different views and represent them well, right? Because maybe someday I go over to this type of belief, right? And I find it that it's like justified, and I start believing it. So I was just wondering, because you guys are well informed, and it's hard to decipher through Google like what's really going on.
Yeah. Are you in my Discord server?
I think so. What's the name of it? Because I think I'm in it.
It's just called Bryce Cord.
I think I am in Bryce Cord.
So
yeah.
At the very bottom of the server, there's basically like a ton of like PDFs of like works based off of certain topics and church fathers that you can use, like if you have questions about certain things, as well as like if you say, hey, does anybody have any works on this topic? Like there's plenty of people inside the server that'll send you just like gigantic stacks of books on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you really want to read about it,
No, I really do. Yeah, like I have I'm always trying to learn things and see like a different perspective. Because I think to be super dogmatic without justification is really kind of like wrong. I think that's how like really bad beliefs get formed, and those beliefs may like hurt people, right? But like when it comes to like EO stuff, like Eastern Orthodoxy, like when I ask questions, like I seem to get like better answers. Like more I guess to me coherent answers that make more sense than like asking maybe some like random Christian who's like well informed on the Bible, but like I get more coherent and like conducive answers that I want out of like Eastern Orthodoxy. So I guess that's what's kind of like drawing me towards that is it seems like the tradition is really long and like a historical, if that makes sense. Like it's been passed down, really carefully curated. It seems right. So that to me seems like there might be more credence to saying this belief is true, right? If it's been so closely held and cultivated. But yeah, not to take up your time. Like you probably got other guests that want to talk, but I was just wondering. Thanks, man.
Yeah, sure thing, bro. Appreciate it. All right, what's up, Dante? You said you wanted to talk next. Yeah.
Hi, Bryce. Hi.
What's going on?
I just want to preface this by saying I love Orthodoxy. I love Orthodox Christianity. I've been looking into it for about a year and a half now.
Okay.
I come from like a very secular kind of society, family, not a church-going family.
I did too,
Um,
so I get it.
yeah, I had an experience when I was 16 that made me very like interested in God, for example. So I looked into Christianity and I actually joined your live about a year ago. And I asked you why it is that you believe that Christianity is the most like logical religion, the most like plausible to be true, etc.
Okay.
And you put me onto works like the Didache and other things which reinforce my belief in the New Testament, I suppose. Um, but what I really wanted to ask you is how can I go about growing my faith? Because I agree with you that Christianity by far is the most logical religion, has the most evidence, etc. But it hangs on the belief in in a God, in a personal, good, loving God. And
Absolutely.
in my mind, I'm kind of caught between that belief and complete nihilism. And I don't really like sitting on that fence. So any like works or anything that you've read that helped you would be nice.
Like works that kind of like talk about how like necessarily the God that exists must be personal.
Yeah, exactly that, and
I mean, honestly,
moreover
I could
good
just
as
ask kind of
well.
some. Honestly, I can kind of just ask some like general questions, and it like I think it like logically concludes that God would be personal, right?
Okay, yeah,
So
sure.
so you put it like this, right? Obviously, you want to be able to affirm that knowledge is possible, right? And
Yeah,
this isn't me just kind of like throwing tag out there. I don't do that too often. I use it sometimes, but not very often. But in a general in a general sense, right? If we concede at least that whoever this God that we're talking about is all powerful and he's all knowing, right? That if basically he has the knowledge to be able to create something, then therefore he would
yeah,
obviously possess a will, right?
sure. Yeah,
And if the creation is something that exists through this will, then obviously God made the decision to then therefore create something. And if God decided to create something, then therefore in a sense he already is then personal by that degree. Because if he decided to
okay.
create something, there's an intention with that thing he decided to create, right?
So you're saying creation could not be spontaneous. It requires intention.
No, like I would say that if you at least come to the conclusion that God exists and this God in some way, shape, or form willfully created in any sense whatsoever, that it has to then therefore be personally related in some way, shape, or form to the thing that that it created. Otherwise, if it had no intention to basically convene with this creation, then the creation wouldn't come to be. Because I
Sure.
mean, if he didn't want to create, or if he didn't care to, or maybe didn't even possess the faculties to will something in the first place, first off, I would say that makes him not all powerful,
If he
right?
lacks the faculty to will.
If he
Yeah.
lacks the faculty to will, if he lacks the faculty to choose from this or that, then he wouldn't be all powerful. If he does have the ability to will choose this or that, then if creation exists, he then willed creation. Because if he didn't will creation, then obviously he's still not all powerful because creation still exists, meaning it went outside of his bounds. Blah blah blah. So if
Okay.
creation exists, he willed creation, and if he willed creation to exist, he has an intention for that creation, which then makes him personal just off of that.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. I get where you're going with that, and I understand it. Is there any places in your Discord or anywhere I could kind of converse further with this or?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just like generally, like in general chat, in general, like I don't know why I said that 3 times, but yeah, in general chat, that's like the best place you can honestly just ask about that, like genuine question, right? If you just posit it, like you just really want to know, right? Like nobody's gonna flame you. The only time that people in
Okay.
my server will start flaming people is if you start like if you start like blaspheming, of course, like people are just gonna go off the rails because that's it's an Orthodox server, of course. Like,
Yeah,
you don't seem
yeah,
like
yeah.
somebody that would be like that, of course. But when it comes to like learning about like God's intention to create, a lot of the fathers that write about that kind of thing, it's not easy to get your hand on those works because of the fact that they're mostly from later fathers.
Is
They're
there any works that you like on why God would create creation the way in which He did, kind of fragile, uh, open to errors, illness, etc.?
yeah, there's a couple. So there's this thing called the Hexameron by Saint Basil the Great.
Okay.
That is one of the really good works on that. That's a pre-schism father that you can read as well. If you want something from like the post-schism in Orthodoxy, there's somebody he's kind of debated about on whether or not he was actually like a valid Orthodox Christian, but his argument that he makes in this specific work is still accepted, right? And it's called On the Definition of Death by Michael Sellos. He's from
On the
10
definition of that.
yeah, On the Definition of Death by Michael Sellos. He's from 1070 AD. So he's like right after the schism, literally like 10 years
Yeah.
about. And he actually says this, right? Specifically in Statement 5, this is in the Patrologia Graecos 122, column 917. I'll actually show it on my screen here. Where he says, "Come now, I ask you by God, since bodies are distant, how does God know them? Does he know them as distant or not distant? You will not say the latter, for he is not distant from them in height, length, or breadth. He has not received knowledge of them as non-distant. Does God's knowledge of bodies then change their distances? By the same reasoning, knowing nature supernaturally and indefinite and in a definite way, he has neither changed nature nor the indeterminacy of things, for his foreknowledge is not the cause of what exists. Therefore, if he foreknew the malice of some and presumed the justice of others, it is not because that this is some necessarily became evil and others are just, but it's because he knew what exists according to its own nature, and these things are carried along according to their own connection. And he knows that the one who hangs himself will die in this way, lest you forget what we first confessed, namely that knowledge is like the knower. It is not because of this knowledge that he fell violently, but through his will, using evil ingenuity. And so that I may say everything that will solve this question for you, at the end of each person's life is defined for God through foreknowledge, for he has presumed knowledge of the future. But for us, the future is indefinite in a way that it is in a way definite and in a way indefinite. Definite in the way that God knows it, but indefinite insofar as foreknowledge does not define the future. Pay attention also to the sayings of our fathers. Right? So that's one of the main things here. He's basically, so like right here as well, where he says, knowledge does not change things, rather it remains in the knowers, while the things themselves do not lose their own nature. Therefore, God, the ultimate end of all things, knows things according to his own sublimity, definitively knowing what is indefinite, necessarily knowing what is contingent. Right? The argument that he's basically making here is that God decided to create everybody in regards to their intention, what they're actually intended to do, right? Which is to return to him. He did not create people to basically fall and die. Rather, he created people for the purpose of being with him, whether or not they decide to not follow through with that intention.
We were created to be like king, high priests of the world.
Yes, we were created in a sense to basically have dominion over creation, to have the unity of all rational beings is a pretty good way to put that, Noah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's the point. It was the point of us being created was to basically unite with the Creator. And so whether or not he creates somebody, he created them for that intention. Even if he knew, of course, that they were going to possibly decide against this, it's still better to allow them to have the ability to try to exist, right, than to not create them at all.
Right, yeah. Okay, yeah, I can understand that.
Because in a sense, they would still have the free will to choose God or not. So then therefore he would choose them. He would create them with the faculty of that free will, with an intention for them to come to him. But if they obviously reject, that's their own problem. That's kind of the whole point.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Bryce. I want to eventually come up when I've done more research on those works, and I also want to eventually talk to you about Genesis, if that's fine, but not today.
Yeah, sure. All good, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Eventually talk to you about Genesis, if that's fine, but not today.
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
sorry.
All good, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
come back up, Cross. Your mic is echoing really bad. All right, Tanji, you've been up here for a while, man. What's up?
Yeah, hi. Today I was reading Saint Ignatius, his work on the essence energy distinction, or on the type of distinction, and I was just kind of curious about like an in passing comment that he made. He said that the persons are more distinct than the energies are.
Correct.
Because I think he said they have relations of opposition. So in Orthodox theology, or at least in your view, are the energies, or are the, sorry, not the energies, are the relations opposed?
No, they do not oppose the divine essence. I mean, he actually says at the very ending of that work that the energies are not opposed to the essence. He says at the very end of that specific
I misspoke. Are the personal, like, hypostatic properties opposed to each other?
Are you talking about like the formal constituents, or are you just talking about like the actual properties themselves? Like,
either one.
I would say that that there are the hypostatic properties could be opposed to each other. Sure, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I read that, and I thought I had recalled you at some point saying that the properties do not oppose each other, but I wasn't sure if you were saying that they are not defined by their opposition, or if they just were not opposed.
Yeah, they're defined, as St. John of Damascus says, in the perfection of their subsistence, which basically kind of more denotes like the formal constituent, like sonship, procession, and a principle and fecundity for the Father and stuff like that, right? Which, like, being principle and fecundity doesn't denote some kind of opposition by itself. You have to actually look at the hypostasis of the Son and the hypostasis of the Spirit to then denote some kind of opposition. But you can name the formal constituent, like sonship, for example. That doesn't automatically mean an opposition by itself. It means he's just caused in a way that is begetting, right?
So they are opposed to each other.
The persons are opposed to each other, yeah. No issue with it.
Yeah, they're not defined by that opposition.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to get that from your perspective. And then I also wanted to ask, I think I've mentioned before, I'm an Inquirer, and I mostly lean towards Orthodoxy, but at the moment I'm mostly reading the early church and kind of seeing which one is reflected in the modern church more.
That's fair to do.
One thing that's came up a lot in Orthodox circles when I'm looking into Orthodox views is Latinizers. This term, people will call out Latinizers a lot, usually around original sin. And I kind of have a hard time with this, just looking in.
One second. Crucified, by the way, that picture that you're talking about, where that was screenshotted, where I said that the formal constituents don't necessarily oppose each other, I'm talking about that versus the actual hypostatic properties themselves. And because of the fact that we also affirm eternal manifestation, I'm somebody who is considered a hypostatic EM enjoyer. So, like, when I'm talking about the Son, like, one of his hypostatic properties would be denoted as manifester, and then there would be manifested, right? So there would still be a form of opposition between the Son and the Spirit that way. It just wouldn't denote subsistence, right? So opposition by itself does not denote a subsistence in the Orthodox view. That's what I was trying to say. So I don't really know how you. I'm assuming that was the screenshot from Sheriff or whatever that was taken out of context. Go ahead.
That was the one that I was talking about as well. I saw that and I was like, I think you'd hold they are opposed to each other, just not.
Yeah, the persons themselves are opposed to each other. Yeah, it's just like when you talk about the formal constituents themselves, it doesn't necessarily entail that.
Right. That was what I focused on. People were throwing that around a lot, and it's like, well, you specify they're not necessarily opposed. But yeah, people were having a field day with that.
Yeah, in terms of subsistence, yeah.
Right.
Like in terms of the way in which they exist, they're not necessarily opposed entirely because of the fact that the Son and the Spirit are not opposed by their subsistence.
Right. I was asking about original sin. So people throw around this term like culpability and responsibility. To me, just like looking in, those things are almost synonymous, but they're often treated like they're not the same thing. So it's a little bit confusing. What exactly is the view on what we get from Adam?
Well, I mean, like, so I'm one of the people that believes that Augustine's theology on that type of topic is correct, but I believe that a lot of people quote him incorrectly, right? So
Yeah.
there's works, for example, like in Against Julian, Saint Augustine actually makes it explicitly clear that we do not inherit the personal guilt of Adam. I mean, he says that verbatim. So when the fathers in the first millennia are talking about guilt, they're not saying that we literally inherit the personal guilt of Adam, but rather we're inheriting a form of guilt or I guess, a liability to suffer, right,
Mhm.
from the nature that we possess, which is not the same thing as possessing some kind of personal guilt that people like to put onto Augustine, which is not the case.
Yeah, I think I just saw that quote earlier today, actually, that you were mentioning. Yeah, is it this one? He said, however, original sin is called sin not in such a way that it makes us guilty, but because it is the result of the guilt of the first man, and because by rebelling it strives to draw us to guilt, unless we are aided by the grace of God through Jesus Christ our Lord. And then goes on. Are you talking about that quote?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so. That seemed very interesting. I hadn't seen it before.
Yeah.
So
A
yeah,
lot
because
of
they just say like
people
it's not.
Yeah, a lot of people will take Augustine out of context in a lot of different ways. Like I'm somebody that holds very hard, like in a good-hearted way, towards Saint Augustine. I don't believe that he
Mm,
affirmed the Florentine Filioque. I don't believe that he affirmed some kind of heretical understanding of sin. Right? I believe that a
mm,
lot of people misinterpret him that way based off of like some modern scholars that determine that. But Saint Gregory Palamas, his apodictic treatises on the Holy Spirit, like it's an entire work on the filioque and like trying to refute the filioque. That entire work is based off of Saint Augustine's psychological analogy. I mean, like, so obviously, like, even the fathers didn't believe that he affirmed it. Saint Mark of Ephesus
right.
rejected that he affirmed it. Saint Photius said that he didn't affirm it, right? Like, all of these, our fathers held Augustine to a very high view. And there was no fathers that actually existed from the time of Augustine all the way to very recent times that would say that Augustine's understanding of sin is incorrect. Rather, they would say
Mm,
that some of the language that's used may be not necessary when it comes to when it comes to explaining it to a layman, right? Which is not it's not the same thing, right? Is that like we use analogical language or anthropomorphic language all the time to try to describe God? That doesn't mean that he ontologically exists in that manner.
mm.
So I can
It's
see both
strange. Yeah.
sides. So I can see both sides to this thing that people talk about, right?
Mm,
Do you think our nature is sinful? I mean, to be sinful is to basically be somebody who sins. So the nature by itself wouldn't be just considered sinful. I'd say that we possess sinful nature insofar as our ability to commit sin and our disposition towards committing it as a person. Sure. I did not see your question, Gabe. If you want to ask it again, you can. I'm sorry. Chat's moving pretty quick today.
yeah, there was I kind of had trouble with the idea of universal guilt, or like saying the human nature is guilty or corrupted as a universal, right? Because then you have this it's a universal. If it's universally sinful, wouldn't that make it an essential property to the
No,
human
because
nature?
just because something's universal doesn't necessarily mean it's essential. Right. So, like, the reason why that it's considered universal is because of the fact that when Adam was created, right, all man was called Adam, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like that's pretty evident in Genesis. So, when Adam was created, he possessed the dominion over the entirety of human nature, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, when he possesses the entire universality of human nature because he has dominion over it, when he sinned, he then corrupted the entire nature, which then, when we are particular human beings, we then possess the universal stain. And that's the reason why.
So he corrupted every instance of human nature, but not the universal itself.
Yeah, he wouldn't like so. The actual nature by itself does not ontologically change.
Oh, I see.
It rather was given something that then makes it to where we suffer from that. The nature by itself
Mm-hmm.
is not something that was actually changed. It was added. It was added onto it, which is something that the fathers talk about pretty
Okay,
commonly.
I think that makes a lot more sense. That kind of like clicks many things. And I had this view that the same way that Adam universally corrupted matter, as like
Yes.
essentially changed it, that Christ essentially changed matter as well when he became incarnate.
Yeah,
But it seems like
entropy in
that's
of
a little bit
itself,
different.
entropy in of itself is something that is the cause of Adam's fall.
Right,
Right. So
yeah.
like the fact that things move towards decaying and non-existence is because of Adam's fall. All things, because
Mm-hmm.
because you remember how he was given dominion over the earth as well. That also
Mm-hmm.
includes matter, animals, the cosmos, all of these things, which none of these things were something that actually suffered from decay or entropy prior to the corruption of Adam. This is actually
Right.
one of the reasons why I argue for young Earth all the time, because I believe that if you're a Christian who holds to the old Earth model, you actually can't even affirm what I just said.
Yeah, because they would have to, like, they believe in death before the fall, and they
They'd have
have
to
to
be,
believe in entropy before the fall as well.
yes, and they would have to basically say that God actually created entropy naturally, which is pretty wild. Gabe, I saw your
Right.
comment, man. I didn't want to stop the conversation. You said one theological book and one philosophical book that you recommend. One theological book that I would recommend, obviously, is St. John of Damascus's exposition of the Orthodox faith, or honestly, the entire Fount of Knowledge, because that philosophical book that I would recommend is within that. It's called the Philosophical Chapters.
Mhm.
That would be the best thing for that. St. John
That
of
was one of my
Damascus for
first
both of them.
Orthodox works.
I thought I remembered Maximus speaking about objects clinging to existence. Yeah, they cling to existence, but they naturally fall away from existence due to the fall. So that's why technically all things naturally have the fear of dying. But that fear that they possess is not something that's actually proper to their nature. It's something that they suffer from. Yes, crucified. I think that EO theologians give a sufficient answer against the LPT. Uh, Dr. Bo Branson's argument regarding energy type and token distinction is honestly, in my opinion, the best way to do it. Solving the LPT through St. Gregory of Nyssa's on not three gods is honestly, I think, the best way. And that's how I always address the LPT at all times. What's going on with you, Amin?
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, man. I had a quick question for you. I guess today is like EED question day, or maybe that's like people typically have questions about EED.
I get a
Um,
bunch of random stuff all the time, man. I mean, people come up to ask EED questions to me all the time because they know that I spurg out about it. But other than that, yeah.
okay. Yeah, I've actually been studying it pretty heavy for the past month. I just got done doing like a 40-hour video on monarchical Trinitarianism, and then that kind of sprung me into wanting to understand EED a lot more. So I've started reading a bunch of Palamas's 150 chapters. I've got the Tikon book. Um, read a bunch of on the Orthodox faith. I got all the way through book one, two, book three, section chapter 15 really goes deep into EED. So for the most part, I understand it pretty well.
Okay.
The question I have is because I'm planning on doing something on EED, like I said, and I really want to make sure that I give solid examples. So my question on EED is related to the eschaton, and as I understand, with the energy essence distinction, we can't participate with the essence of God naturally, because even as somebody said earlier, with the example of the sun, you get too close to the sun, you'll burn up. You can't even stare at the sun without going blind, but yet you know the sun is real because you feel the rays, you feel the warmth. I get that. So relating to the eschaton, when everybody is resurrected, even those who are not in Christ are resurrected, and they don't have the glorified body, so they are resurrected in the state that they were before, before they passed in that particular sense. Um, the wrath of God that they experience, is that the same as what we
Yes.
experience as the love of God?
Yes. So they would
Okay,
experience it
so
as that one singular energy. The difference is that
exactly.
the analogy is also used as well, I think, at the Palamite synods, where they say something along the lines of, when you return to God, that basically when you approach his fire, it has the ability to do two different things to you. Either one, it's basically would act like iron, where basically you are kind of bolstered by it, you're enlightened by it, right? These types of things, but you don't lose what you are in that sense, right? But the people that basically don't understand the love of God, they receive it along the lines of like wood, where they basically would be burned up and suffered from that exact same thing.
Okay. So then here's my question then. So you kind of answered the first part, because I was wondering if the wrath or the love of God would be so. Okay, so I know the love of God is an energy, because the scripture says God is love. And how can God be? So the energies are God. Like I get that. So my question, I guess, is the aspect of fire. Is it really okay? I'm trying to word this properly. So in the Old Testament, when Elijah calls down fire on the prophets of Baal, and that is looked at as the wrath of, that's like the wrath of God, and they experience actual burning fire.
Right.
But there's other places where, like for instance, in the New Testament, where John the Baptist is speaking to his disciples, and he says, I baptize you with water, but somebody's coming after me that's going to baptize you with fire. Then we see in the book of Acts, the Holy Spirit descends on them as like tongues of fire, it rests on them. Then, even in the Old Testament, you have Moses in the burning bush. Moses looks at the bush and wonders why the bush is on fire, but it is not consumed. Now, here's the question I have for you. We've already agreed about the love is the wrath and vice versa in some cases. Is this so would this affirm this to be an actual energy because we're participating in it, but for the people who are not in Christ when they're resurrected, it is actual fire to them. But for us, because we are able to participate in the energies of God, it is still fire, but it's not burning us. So I guess my question is, what is the fire? Is it actual fire, or is it just because the scripture says our God is an all consuming fire? So that's my
Does it?
question.
Yeah, it says that in Hebrews 12:28, right? Or 29.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we say that it's like a fire, you have to remember that every time that we're denoting God's energies, that there is going to be an analogical sense to it, right? There's going to
Okay.
be something that we use to analogically speak about the way in which it feels. The same reason why that you would say that God is, for example, love, that God is also wrath, right? Like all of these types of things that people will say. There's certain things that do properly apply to God in terms of those energies or those names, but there's a lot of things that are used analogically. Like people
Okay.
will experience that thing as fire. That doesn't mean that it like isn't like some kind of ontological fire. It doesn't literally exist as like the mattered fire.
Okay. And that's what I thought too, because in Luke 16, with the Lazarus and that story where he's looking up and he's like, let me get some water, um, so I can, can quit, so I can come out of this torment. And I'm like, okay, well, is it actual water, or is that just the soul's desire to get what it wanted because it hasn't been healed? Like that nature is not healed, so it just wants to be satisfied. So it's like I understand that there is some type of, I don't know if that's like
Well,
hyperbolic language, like
satisfied for the wrong reason. Right.
exactly
So
right, and,
so
and
like
that's what I was thinking.
if somebody's satisfaction that would so the actual intention for any human soul's like completion is to return to God in his love. We were created to do that. And so if you are somebody who rejects the love of God, then when you actually return to your purpose, you return to the way in which you were intended, it will burn you, it will be torment, and that's hell.
Exactly. Okay. Man, that is so interesting. So there is a sense in which even those who are not in Christ can still participate in the energies of God. Well, I guess because even here, like the scripture says, God shines his sun on the just and the unjust alike. So, like I guess they call that common grace. Like everybody can experience God's energies to an extent, but I guess those in Christ
But
participate
when
in
you're
them.
separated from the physical world, though, you have to remember that the physical world is what shields us from immediately burning up in God. right? And so when that eschaton comes and the spiritual and the material become one, there would be no barrier for you to not burn up in
Okay.
fire immediately, right? You would therefore
Mm,
perpetually suffer because of that.
wow. Okay. Wow. I
So you
never
have
even thought
you have
about
the
it that way.
ability to be comfortable in the physical world because of the fact that the heaven and earth has not become one yet, like it says that will happen in Revelation, right? When heaven and earth
Right.
become one thing, when they become one thing, the evil and the wicked will not be able to handle that. That will then therefore be hell for them.
Wow. So I guess that's the common grace we have here because, like you said, we're shielded. But in the eschaton, that shield is gone. That partition is removed, and you'll
And
be
there's a taste of that partition being removed when you immediately die. That's kind of the whole point.
man.
Because
That's
your body
wild.
is separated from your spirit, and your spirit suffers until the day of judgment. If you're somebody who's wicked, immediately.
Okay, man. I definitely I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, man. If I have any more questions, I'll definitely hop back up. But God bless. Thank you.
Good thing, bro.
In the name of the Father, and of the
What's going on?
Son, and of the name of the Father, and of the one incarnate Word, after the union, in the name of the Holy Spirit, one God, amen.
Amazing,
Say
bro.
amen. Say
Amen,
amen.
dude. What's up, dude?
Amen. Wait, why'd
Amen,
you
dude.
say amen? That was one incarnate nature after the union.
Yeah, Cyril said that. That's cool. I agree with that.
Oh, yeah, but you say that the natures are grounded in what?
Say that again. What'd you say? I can't. You're
You
talking
say
too
that,
fast, bro.
yes. Okay, so like, what would be your response when Cyril says this?
That there's one incarnate nature of the Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there is one nature that is incarnated into the Word. Sure, I agree with that.
Yes, okay, that's not what he means, but that's for a different day.
You asked me my position on that. So.
Yeah, but that's not what he means, though.
I
When
mean,
you say that, that's not
you
what
can
he,
say
we
that
can
it's
see
not
in
what he
his
means.
letter. We can see in his letters to other people that if you read in context, that's not what he means at all. He's talking about from the two natures that they become one.
Yeah, because it's talking about when we're talking about Christ as a singular hypostasis, then yeah, Christ is one.
Yeah,
Sure.
one's grace. So this is after the union or this before the union?
After the union, he's still one hypostasis.
Okay, so after the union, he's one hypostasis, right?
Yeah.
This is not even what I came up here to talk about. So
Okay. So what did you come up here to talk
okay,
about?
my question was, Christ did not know the hour.
Are you dead serious?
Yeah.
Are you just asking that because like people say that to you or what?
No, I'm saying like this is an argument for you guys.
An argument against me?
Yeah, against your position.
I mean, like I honestly just take the position that word is just oidan, which just means that he doesn't declare the hour. So sure, whatever.
So you take that he doesn't declare the hour?
Yeah, that's what Saint Ambrose said. So.
Like, what about the Holy Spirit?
The Holy Spirit doesn't declare the hour either. No.
Okay, does the Holy Spirit know the hour?
In terms of him actually possessing knowledge, sure, yeah.
So, but it says only the Father knows the hour.
Yeah, knowing as in declaring, right? Oidan in Greek just means to not to declare knowledge.
Oh, you take that position?
Yeah, that's Saint Ambrose's position. That's why I said that I take it.
Okay, if you took the other position, would you not defend it? Just wonder.
What?
If you took the other one's position, would you not defend it?
Yeah, I don't care about another position on it because I just use like what the majority of the fathers argued for in that passage, and they just argued that the word is not rendered as to possess knowledge. So I mean, like if somebody wants to hold a different position, then that's their own problem, not mine.
All right, what about well, yeah, that's another one. What about like when Muslims say prove him that you're God?
What?
What about when Muslims say prove him that you're God?
When they say prove I'm not your God?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say like where are you prophesied at?
That's what you just say?
Jesus multiple times said that I'm in the Old Testament, yes. So when Libiano says, prove I'm not your God, I would say, where are you prophesied as that you would incarnate?
So has a Muslim came up on your panel on Access?
Yes.
And what'd you say?
What I just said.
And what'd you just say?
You didn't hear what I just said?
No, I know what you just said, but I'm actually, what did you just say so I know if that you're tracking?
If somebody came up here and said, prove I'm not your God, I would ask them, show where that you are prophesied that you would come at this time, that you would be the incarnate Christ. You just have to show
I just
that.
want to say I like your beard.
What?
Continue. I said I just want to say I like your beard, but continue.
Okay. Well, that was my answer.
Yeah. Okay, one last question.
Okay.
Also, I was trolling, chat. Calm down, bro. Calm down.
Am I freaking out?
Okay, yeah, my last question is that
is my crash out in the room with me?
No, I'm talking about the chat. I know you're not crashing out.
Oh, okay.
I got two more questions for you, actually.
All right.
Okay, my third to last, is that what it? Third to last question is like, do you think that dating is worth it? Because I know you're married. Do you think dating is worth it?
I mean, you got to get to know your partner, yeah.
Yeah, but do you think it's worth it?
That's up to you and your priest, bro. Like, if you think that like you're called to marry, then yeah. But like, I don't know if you're called to get married. How would I know?
Last question. Okay.
Okay.
When will you debate Agan?
I don't know. I don't actively seek out to debate Agan. I mean, I don't really see the point in it. Besides, Agan.
Do you see Agan as being Christian?
What?
Do you see Agan as being Christian or no? You don't think he's Christian?
I think he's Christian nominally because he's part of a sect that's not part of our communion.
No, okay. Like, do you think
I see him as a Christian the same way that I would see a Roman Catholic as a Christian? Maybe a little.
In the Orthodox Church?
What?
In the quote unquote Eastern Orthodox Church, right?
Okay.
Quote unquote Orthodox. I'm not affirming this for any Miaphysites. I'm just saying it nominally. In the nominally Eastern Orthodox Church, right? What do you guys view the purpose of life as being? I was just wondering that because I don't know the purpose of life.
The purpose of life is
you think it's
to
subjective?
communion with God. What? Yeah.
You think it's subjective?
It would be objective.
Objective. Okay, what is it?
It is to return to God. Our soul is to
Theosis?
yeah. Theosis
But
is
can
the
we reach
entire purpose of
theosis?
why we were created.
Can you reach theosis on Earth?
Reaching theosis is not a thing. Theosis is a perpetual thing that always happens. Theosis never completes. That's something. It's returning to God is the thing that completes your soul. But theosis, technically speaking, like all of the saints are still doing a perpetual upward spiral into God's energies via theosis, even in heaven. So there's never like a completion of theosis. I mean, if you completed theosis, then that means that you've understood God fully, but he's infinite, so that's not possible.
Yeah. Wait, so you say that is there someone requesting? Because I have more questions.
Yeah, Eddie the Edomite is currently requesting.
Eddie the Edomite? What kind of name is that?
I don't know, dude. I just see him in the box.
Roast him for his name when he comes up, okay?
What?
Roast him for his name when he comes up.
What's wrong with Eddie, bro? What's wrong with the name Eddie?
No, the Edomite though. But I'm praying for the.
Oh, I'm an Edomite too, bro.
I'm praying for the unified church, that we all unite.
Yeah, me too.
The one.
It's actually really easy for us to reunite.
Of Oriental Orthodoxy.
It's actually really easy for us to reunite.
Yeah, it is. I agree, man.
Yeah, you just have to accept Chalcedon. Stop being weird. Learn to count to 2 and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, Chalcedon, Chalcedon, you guys, Miaphysitism was preached at the Council of Ephesus. I can prove this. if you're willing to have a discussion in your Discord server,
Yeah,
someday
proper
this week.
Miaphysius is actually proclaimed at Chalcedon too. So I mean, sure, whatever.
Are you willing to have a discussion sometime?
You're
this
welcome
week?
to ask me at any point in Discord and we can talk. I don't care. You just have to tell me when you want to have
I
a
got
conversation.
banned.
I could probably see why at the moment.
What is that supposed to mean?
Because you're trolling me, bro.
I promise you I'm not trolling you.
You just
maybe
said
at the
you were
start.
trolling me like 5 minutes ago.
Maybe at the start, but I'm not right now.
You know I'm listening to you, right?
Yeah, I know you're listening to me.
All right, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and move on.
I want to say Happy New Year's, man.
Happy
God
New
bless
Year's
you
too. God bless.
and your family. All right.
I don't know what that was, bro. That was a peak conversation. That was absolutely peak.
Hey, what's up?
Man? Yeah, what's going on, man?
By the way, this is just a nickname because I was on another Christian live and they told me to give them a name. I was like, fuck it. My name's Eddie. Eddie the Edomite. So.
Nice. You were created by Yakub, brother.
Hey, yo. No, I'm Muslim.
Oh, you're
what's
Muslim. Okay. Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah. Wait, are you Christian or atheist? Because I can't read. I can't read what it says there.
Hold on 1 second. I'm an Orthodox Christian. So let me.
Oh, salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum, bro. Alaikum
I mean, my bad. Curio neson.
Cool, bro. All right, what's up?
All right, so, bro, man and God are opposites. God ceases to be a man. I mean, wait, no. God ceases to be anything other than. Wait, why are you like? Whoa. What's the where are the jokes?
I did joke. I just go ahead.
Okay. No, bro. God is not a man. And the contingency argument proves that the Trinity is a false concept. It does not really exist. It's an impossibility.
The contingency argument. What's the contingency argument against the Trinity? What is that?
Well, you know the Kalam cause argument, that stuff. It's atheism.
I know about it when it basically necessitates a necessary being off of contingent things. Yeah.
You're cutting off. Can you say that again? My connection on my side.
Yeah, I said that the Kalam cosmological argument. I don't normally read it very often, but I do know generally that it just has to do with the necessary being implied from contingent objects.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And basically, what it does prove, it doesn't prove God is all good and all that stuff, but it does prove there is a one all powerful entity, and there can be there's no two powerful entities or three or two or more.
I don't believe there's two or three powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
Entities.
There's only one all powerful entity. No, but but you do though, because
no, I don't.
That's the fallacy of the Trinity, bro.
Hey, can you come back up because your connection is crazy and you're talking
of each other,
way behind me. Here, let me go ahead. I'll bring you back up.
Okay, if you want.
Here, come back up.
All right, how about now?
Hold on. Come back up real quick because your connection is crazy bad. All right, it looks better now. So what's the actual argument that I worship three entities or something?
Yes, because God, and you can. Well, when you say,
you cut out. Sorry, I didn't hear your first part.
Say that again.
Just go ahead. Start the argument over. I didn't hear it.
Yeah, my connection really is ass.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay, what I'm saying is, well, you refer to all of them as God, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have Jesus is God, the Father is God, and the Holy Spirit is God, but they're not the same.
They're not the same persons, sure.
Not same persons. They have the same essence, right?
Yeah.
Therein lies the contradiction. If they can have the same essence and they are not the same persons, they are not the same person. Okay, so they're three different persons with the same essence. There is nothing in existence that lacks the same essence, but yet different will that isn't three with what you just described.
There's one
That's
will
the logical
in the
problem.
Trinity.
No, there isn't one will in the Trinity.
Yes, there is.
It's
You show
just
me a
different than
single
like
Trinitarian?
there's different wills in the Trinity.
No. Can you show me a single Trinitarian that thinks there's three wills in the Trinity?
Well, they're not the same, are they not? They're different persons with
If they're
different wills.
different, yeah, will is proper to nature.
You cannot have three, bro. You cannot have three because they're dependent on their parts. Three is dependent
They're
on
not
one.
parts. They're not parts.
Well, no. They're dependent on the parts that make them distinct from each other.
Mm-hmm.
They have differences within them, right?
Yeah, distinction in person, sure.
Yeah, so they have distinctions in person. They are now contingent upon that distinction in personhood.
What do you?
And that's what makes them. Then they cannot be God.
The thing that so the contingency of the persons. What? What?
Yeah, that's why I asked you, because like the contingency argument, it extends not just to proving God, but to proving that He's undivisible.
What is your argument? What is your argument that the relations are contingent? Like, what's your argument for that?
The argument is when you get back to this necessary existence, right? You followed me until there.
The
now,
one God
it
is
extends
the necessary
back.
existence.
Exactly. Now, there cannot be any division in that necessary existence.
There is no division.
Because, brother, but there's a Trinity. That's an internal.
They're distinct, not separate. You'd have to prove that they're separated.
Okay, but their distinctions is what makes them contingent. They're now contingent upon their distinctions.
They would be contingent if they were separated. You'd have to prove that they're separated and not just distinct.
But they are distinct from one another in some kind of way, correct?
If they're distinct, that means that doesn't necessarily entail that they're divided. You still haven't gave me an argument for that.
Well, they're divided by their distinctions. Nothing else except their distinction. The fact that you simply refer to Jesus, the Father, and the Holy Spirit, that makes them that's a distinction.
If they're
and that distinction right there. I mean, since you are not a modalist, right?
No, I'm not a modalist.
Okay. What distinguishes the Son from the Father? The sonhood and the fatherhood distinguishes them, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Now they are dependent upon that quality to be what they are.
Yeah.
That makes them contingent on it.
Do you want me to show you why that this can't work?
I mean, that's basically. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, that's basically my argument. So I want to hear your response.
Let me put it like this, okay? I'm going to ask you a question about your view, and you tell me if you hold to this still, okay? Do you believe that Allah is contingent upon His attributes?
No, Allah is not contingent upon His attributes.
But He can possess many attributes?
Yes.
Okay.
They're not parts.
So then, okay,
they're just attributes.
Yeah. And He's not contingent upon them for His existence, right?
Never. No.
Okay, so then when we apply this to like the Trinity, you're saying that if the God is three persons, then He's contingent on the fact that there's distinctions in God. I'm still waiting for you to show that then entails that He's contingent then.
It's not attributes that make.
Mr.
All right, 1 second.
7 super chatted $6.65. Brother, you don't understand. My atheist can't conceptualize Trinitarian theology, so it must be wrong. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you, Mr.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the $10, bro.
But okay, I don't understand the Trinity. No, it's just the simple fact that there is distinctions within this Godhead, and you are now the God. Whatever's in that Godhead is now dependent upon those distinctions to be. And now either that falsifies all of the Godhead, or falsifies parts of the Godhead.
Yeah. So
or falsifies the whole idea, and then you need to scrap. And then,
yeah, you said that the persons would be basically dependent upon possessing their attributes that show the distinction between each other. But I just asked you the question regarding Allah and whether or not He is contingent upon possessing attributes, and you said no. So why does that apply to me and not you?
Because you don't have Jesus is not an attribute of God.
Nope, I'm not talking about the persons as attributes. I'm talking about, you said that the persons would be contingent upon the fact that they possess fatherhood and sonship. Those are attributes of the persons. So I'm asking how that makes them contingent if Allah possesses attributes and He's not dependent upon the attributes.
No, it's not attributes of the personhood. It's the personhood itself. It's a separation of each other that makes them dependent. They're dependent upon that separation to be the triunity. The triunity itself is, okay, you know that triangle setup that I know the filioque way, I think you guys call it, that they're dependent upon the separation of each other to be that triunity. And
You still
hence
haven't shown
that
how they're
ceases
separate.
to be the necessary.
You just keep saying they're separate, but I'm still like, I haven't heard an argument for that.
Bro, you told me they're separate when you say they're not the same.
No. Just because of the fact that I said they're distinct doesn't make them separated from each other. Do you understand that?
At Vile Vendetta super chatted $10. Are you a neoclassical theist? Why or why not?
No, I'm a classical theist.
Wait, can you see a response again? I didn't hear it over the super chat.
Yeah. So God being, well, now I'm trying to remember what I said because I focused on the super chat.
You said I didn't say any real distinctions or something like that, or
no, I said that like even if there's like a real distinction, if we're talking about the persons, you still haven't shown in any way, shape, or form how that separates them by that. Is Allah distinct from his attributes?
No, from him they proceed forth.
He's not distinct from his attributes?
No, there's no distinction from his attributes. They are him.
Okay. So when he creates, for example, that's like, yeah. So when he creates, is that identical to his essence?
If he creates, it's identical. The attributes are not created, buddy. They're not. They're attributed to him. There's nothing created there. It's a concept attributed.
Bro, I just asked if when he creates, when Allah creates, right? He's the creator, right?
Yeah.
That when he creates, is that identical to his essence?
I don't quite. Are you saying that his creation is identical to his essence?
Nope. The act of God, the act of Allah creating, is that identical to Allah's essence?
I'm not following. I'll be honest. I don't understand that.
Okay. So you told me that Allah's attributes are not distinct from Allah. You said that they are identical to Allah. So I talked specifically about the act of him creating. And that action, is it identical to Allah himself?
I'll be honest, I still don't get it. I'm sorry.
An attribute denotes an action in some senses in your tradition. I don't know which tradition you're a part of.
Not exactly. Allah is the creator, whether creation is there or not.
Yeah, because I understand that, right? In my position, I could say the same thing because he's a creator insofar as the fact that he has the ability to create. Okay?
Yeah.
But you don't believe that there's any distinctions in Allah at all. So technically speaking, Allah creating and him being the creator from his power would then therefore be identical to each other. So then Allah would be identical to his actual act of creation by itself. If he's identical to the act of creation by itself, then in order for Allah to not change, he must then therefore be creating. You understand? It's an eternal creation.
Okay. So then what's so you're saying, yeah, he encompasses everything. Everything's an internal thing.
That's not what I said. I'm providing a modal collapse. I'm basically just saying that if Allah is completely identical in every sense to all of his acts and his attributes, where there's absolutely no distinctions in him whatsoever, in any, because you said it's purely logical that there basically is there's no distinctions. Like, this is worse than like anything that like even a Thomist would say, because like a Thomist at least has the ability to show some form of distinction in this kind of thing. But you're saying it's not distinct at all. A Thomist is somebody who follows the tradition of Thomas Aquinas in the Catholic view. Okay. So obviously we have issues with their view, but when the way you just described Allah, this makes it even worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, 3 is beholden to the idea of 1. You cannot have 3 without 1. So 1 precedes 3. So hence it's contingent upon 1. Like besides their distinctions alone. So you have all these things that are contingent upon each other. You can that ceases to be God. Since
is 99 contingent on 1?
Absolutely.
So then Allah's attributes are contingent on Allah?
Yeah.
So Allah's attributes are contingent.
Yeah, Allah's attributes don't exist.
Is Allah identical? Is Allah identical to his attributes?
No, he identifies with them.
So he is identical to them?
I said identifies with them, doesn't mean he's identical to them.
define that.
I'll be honest, I don't know where you're going with this, but can you define what you mean by identical with? Like,
You
are
said
you saying there are
identical
other?
with what?
No, I said identifies with. You said identical with.
Identifies
His attributes.
with, right? So Allah identifies himself with contingent properties.
Well, everything from him is contingent. Yes, every existence proceeding from him.
Yeah.
Contingent.
So
His attributes are contingent to him.
Are the attributes another existence from Allah?
Yeah, in form of concept, yes.
Are the attributes eternal?
Nothing is eternal but God.
So
no.
Allah's attributes are created, which you literally said was not true.
Oh, you caught me in a little hole here. Let's see. His attributes are his attributes, bro. You're playing games when you can't get out of the Trinity, bro.
Are you trolling me?
I'm not trolling you. I just don't understand how you're trying to get to the attributes when I showed you distinctions in the Trinity. They're dependent on those distinctions.
I showed that the type of critique that you're attempting to make doesn't help you at all. It makes your review actually 1,000 times worse.
Jesus,
because your critique
Jesus
doesn't
is
work.
not an attribute. But Jesus is not an attribute, though, so it's not saying.
I didn't make the
he's a
critique
part of
from the
Trinity.
perspective that Jesus was an attribute. Your argument was that Jesus was contingent on the fact that he possesses sonhood. So then, in that terms, being a property, right? I then asked if Allah possesses properties. You said yes. I then said, okay, so then that would make Allah contingent on that property. You said no, it's not, and you didn't give me an argument why. You just said no, it's not. Right? And then I asked you if he was identified with his properties, and you said yes, but then you also said no.
Jesus is not God alone.
What, dude?
Jesus
You
is
were
not God
talking
alone.
about
Why
the
is
contingency
that?
of the
What?
person in your argument, not necessarily God as an entire being.
No, what I'm talking about. Well, I'm saying that God, contingency of the person. Yes, I am, because because Jesus has distinctions from the Father, which hence makes him beholden to those distinctions. So he's contingent to them.
Okay, cool. So if Allah is beholden to being distinct from his attributes, then he is contingent upon his attributes. Do you see how your argument doesn't work?
He's not beholden to being distinct from his attributes. Everything proceeds forth from him. You're not making sense. It doesn't work both ways.
It does. It literally does. Like verbatimly works the exact same way.
God is God beholden to creating, is to being the creator, to create, to be himself?
You'd say that he is as being the creator, as in he has the power to create, but not.
No, he's not beholden to that.
Creation. He's not beholden to being the creator.
No, he's not. Being the creator is beholden to him.
Okay, so he could theoretically. Okay, you're talking about
concept.
it in a backwards sense. Yeah, no, that's not what I meant by that. So being the creator is beholden to God himself.
His attributes, which are a concept, are beholden to the encompassing.
From Allah.
Yeah. They're not distinct from Allah.
So his attributes are not. So his attributes are not distinct from him again.
Oh, okay, well, okay, fine. They're an extension. Oh my God, bro, they're a creation. You're being very slimy, bro.
Wait, so his attributes are created.
Concepts are created, yes.
Okay.
From God.
So God creating is that in of itself is a creation.
Anything that proceeds forth from Allah is a creation of Allah. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the act. I'm talking about the act of Allah creating.
Yeah. What are you asking about that specifically?
Is that identified with Allah?
The act of Allah creating. Oh my God, bro. You're being slimy, I think.
I don't know how I'm being slimy.
Because what you're saying is just gibberish. You cannot defend the personhood of Jesus and the Father and the Holy
I just
Spirit.
showed you that your critique doesn't work. Because you're saying that in order for basically Jesus to be contingent, then he has to be dependent on the fact that he possesses sonship. I'm showing you that that's not a real argument because you can't even hold to that. That's a valid way to debunk something, by the way.
No, I get what you're saying, but you're not debunking anything because no, Jesus is dependent upon his sonship.
Yeah, and Allah is dependent upon his attributes.
Once again, his attributes proceed forth from him. He's not dependent on his attributes.
Yeah, they proceed forth from him, right? So if they didn't proceed forth from him, would he still be himself?
Yes, he would, yes.
Okay.
Because he's the necessary existence from which everything came. Everything you think exists, concepts, objects, everything is from him. So everything's built into him. But here's the thing.
All of our
Jesus,
human thoughts are all from him too?
yes. Our consciousness comes from him, yes. Without consciousness, you wouldn't have human thought. Yes.
What about the content of our consciousness, like the thoughts that we possess?
Yes, everything comes from him.
So when somebody has the thought of basically doing something vile, that's from Allah?
Well, but don't make an atheist argument here.
Well, I mean, can you address it?
Yes. Everything is from Allah.
Okay.
Free will is from Allah, yes.
Okay, so the actual content of thinking about doing something vile to a person, that's from Allah?
Well, you don't think sins are from Allah?
No, I don't
sorry,
think
you don't. I'm not. You're being. That's not genuine though, because in Christianity you guys have the same thing. The devil was created by God.
Yeah, the devil was created with the intention to not be the master of evil.
Oh, so God's intentions were overridden by his own creation?
What? Yeah, the people have, that's called free will.
Oh, so free will can go against God's knowledge and God's intention.
God knows that they're going to go against him. I mean, you guys would accept that too. I don't understand what you're trying to get at.
No, because nothing happens without God's will. God is willed of everything.
Okay.
That's the contingency argument itself. Everything is contingent upon God's.
Yeah. Including people being able to commit like vile acts, like R-wording people. That's from Allah too.
Well, here's the thing. When you see it just as the simple act, you don't see the wisdom behind it. That person is now relieved of their sins. Now they go to heaven. Now they live in infinite bliss. That person will be purified of their sins.
Does Allah will for people to grape others?
Nothing happens without Allah's will, so I think you can answer that, bro. Come on, man.
So he does. He wills that.
Does everything not happen outside of what you think is God's will?
Oh my gosh. Dude, have a good day. There's no way. I don't think you actually represent Islam very well. I'm pretty sure your own guys would freaking be like losing their shit during that. What's up, man?
Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, bro. What's going on?
I was just recently dying. I just came off of a cold. I don't know if it was something going on. Pretty sure every never gets sick.
Huh?
Everybody got a cold. Everybody was sick around New Year's.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too good either. But
I never get sick
for about a week.
I don't know what's going on, but yeah. See what happens when you don't have first and second actuality. You end up saying your God creates child.
I mean, I don't even like. I mean, he contradicted his own view like 100 times. I didn't even know what to do at that point. Like it was just. Like, it made absolutely no sense to me. Like, he said that he was identical to his attributes, but then he said he's not identical to his attributes. Then he said he was dependent, then that the attributes are dependent on Allah, but they're also Allah. And it's just like, brother.
He didn't know what the word contingent meant, or he didn't know what dependency meant either.
Yeah.
A lot going on there.
That was a rough one.
Yeah, bro, were you in the live with Basil where, I don't know if it was rage bait, or it said inherited guilt? Check.
Oh, well, I mean, it's half rage bait, but it's also because Basil wants that to be discussed, but he's done doing that now. He already said that it's like extremely unfruitful to talk about. So,
it
just leads to a bunch of arguing and chaos.
I knew it was rage bait to an extent because I knew it was about to be like, pull out. Oh, this is what it really means.
You know that obviously, like, I'm sure you've heard Basil actually describe what that means. It's not like some. It's not.
You're right. It's not Thomas tradition, right? Yeah, but people see that and they kind of lose it, and I understand because everybody's not, isn't mature if they're not well read enough. Then,
yeah. Thoughts on the indexical argument? Yeah, I think that's really stupid. That kind of implies that there has to be three wills in the Trinity, and I think it's just a straw man of the Trinity. Because the indexicals argument, when they say something like, does God know that he's not the son, or does the Father know he's not the son, or something like that, that implies that basically knowledge is something that originates in the person, which is just a straw man.
Doesn't it assume different sets of knowledge instead of their knowledge being numerically identical in the first place anyway?
That's why it would presuppose three minds.
33 super chatted $9.99 for a Yeti growler and lose the black tube.
Bro, it's another thermos, dude. Like, I don't even know what kind of brand. You guys are just getting on me about all my material shit today, man. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my god. When was the last time you talked to someone about the LPT, or did they when they brought it up to you? I'm curious.
Oh yeah, that guy just came up to me just now.
No, 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 no. He just definitely does not count. I mean, like the traditional, like your traditional LPT argument.
I think like 2 streams ago, a Muslim came up and tried to give the transitivity argument. When I told him it was the transitivity argument, he's like, "That's not transitivity. It's just identity." And I'm like, "Bro, like I swear these people like they study for like a week, like max. They study for like a week, and then they're just like, okay, I'm ready to go bake some Christians." And
I'm
then
curious. I'm getting.
they just look like idiots, bro, when they freaking try it. It's so stupid.
Do you like impure RI or pure RI better?
Pure RI is better.
I'd you say pure RI because I don't know. I'm getting mixed signals.
Yeah, I believe that you can know the persons by their relations. It just doesn't denote the actual. You can know the persons by their relations, but there's nothing wrong with. Gosh, I freaking hate analytics. Yeah, I don't really know how to say it like out loud. I don't normally do arguments from that. If somebody's bringing LPT, I always reference to them that if they're trying to find an internal inconsistency with the Trinity, that basically telling me, asking me which relation or relation type that I hold to is, or not relation type, I'm sorry, asking me which form of identity that I use to describe the Trinity doesn't disprove the actual Trinity itself. Like,
yeah, I think it's a non sequitur to say that the counting method or what either the counting method I use or the form of identity I adhere to.
Yeah, it's not actually
until some collapse on the entire Trinity itself. It's a complete non sequitur.
Yeah, I could literally just say, like, no, like freaking, whether or not I say relative identity or whether or not, even if I said absolute identity, that doesn't actually disprove that the Trinity by itself is false, right? Because like the form of identity that we use is simply just the way that we describe them. So it's like not, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do this since I don't really have anybody at the moment, and Gabe had a really good idea. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I think that this would be fun. So, since we're kind of hanging out, everybody, this tier list specifically that I'm going to make is not necessarily just anybody I can think of that debates. This is going to be everybody specifically on TikTok. So this is specifically TikTok people. Okay? So if they do not do things on TikTok, they're not going to apply to this. Cool? Put Bryce J at the bottom. Yeah, bro. All right. Oh wait, create with text. I forgot how to freaking actually add one, bro. Oh man. Text tier list. Wait, but bruh.
You're saying tier list, dude.
Yeah, that was the difficulty of Church Father readings. There we go. All right. We'll have D tier as the lowest. Trash can tier, and then you just put Gabe. Yeah, dude. No. No, you're a pretty good debater, Gabe. I'll totally admit that. You're pretty damn good. I'm trying to think. We'll do S, and then we'll do I tier, right? And we'll do. Actually, no, we'll do it the same way. Pretty good. Decent.
Are you going off rhetoric or just substance?
Both.
Or a combination of both?
Yeah, both. Okay, I have S, high tier, pretty good, decent, and stop debating. That's what I have it for this one. I do not have a video debunking two-stage logos theory in the pre-Nicene Fathers. I do not. I want to make something like that because that's like a big topic right now. But I do not currently have a video on that. Okay. So what I'm going to do, pretty similarly, as how I do normal The way that I normally do these is that people in chat quote people, and then basically I just think about it, right? And then I kind of discuss each person and how I want to try and do it. All right? So this, like I said though, this is not like a gigantic list of just like every possible person I can think of. This specifically is TikTokers. So don't quote people. Don't quote people that are not on TikTok, because I don't want to compare those people to specifically the TikTok. This is like a TikTok debater tier list. And I'm going to be unbiased as much as humanly possible, because when I do these tier lists, this is kind of like how I review debates, where it's more like I want to say that they're a good debater, not because of the fact that they're a heretic or something, right? So let me start looking up here, actually. I haven't actually seen Juju debate except for once against Cora, so I don't know too much about him. I know that he's pretty damn good, insane. But I don't. Yeah.
I think he's. I don't know if he's a Thomas. I just know he's Catholic.
All right. So overall, I'm gonna say in terms of debate skill, right? I'm gonna put Q top and pretty good. And the reason why, right, is because his rhetoric is second to none. But I also think that like a lot of, actually no, yeah, I'll keep him right there. That's pretty good. Okay. Block Boy, I would probably put in decent. All right. I think Block Boy is decent. All right. Just keep throwing names in here. Okay. Peace, I would say Peace is pretty good. Peace is pretty good. Bear the Image is high tier, because I kind of just think about Bear when I think about Peace, because they're kind of like a pair. Gumbo, I would honestly put at decent, right, as an overall debater. This is, I'm saying that don't think of this as like me saying that they actually know how to like do all of this kind of stuff, but it's more like the fact that Gumbo has the ability, right, to argue pretty well overall. It's not the fact that he's like just substantive or just rhetoric. These things combined together matters. Okay. KB Crusader, I think that he's honestly in the upper levels of high tier, in my opinion. I would say that he's like right here. Okay, I'm going to try to keep these in order too. All right. Deconstruction Zone, I would say that he's decent, like overall. I don't really think that like he's super smart, but like he's really good at interrupting people to the point where it's like pretty ridiculous. Vasma, I think is high tier, in my opinion. I've seen Vasma debate a decent amount. I do think he's pretty high tier, in my opinion. Ananda is S tier. I will admit that. Ananda's definitely S tier. Okay. Ahmed Qureshi. Ugh, I'm going to come back to that one. I'm not ready for that. Retired Sig. See, I think that Ananda's better than Sig, though, so I'm going to put Sig in high tier. Right? I still think that he's like probably like right here. I think he's like the highest high tier yet. Okay. Yeah, this will be on YouTube, AJ. Agan, I think is still S tier in terms of his debating ability, so I will put him up there. Okay. Dion, I would also say is S tier in terms of what he actually debates. When it comes to the topics that he does, actually no, I'll say that he's like right here. Actually, that was kind of a misstatement here. Schoolboy, I would say is pretty good overall. Rumi, I would say is over here in the high tier area. All right, you guys are giving me good names this time. Nick SWV is definitely in the high tier. He'll probably be like right here, I think. That's probably a good idea. Funi, I would say, is pretty good. Okay. Lewis, I still think is one of the S tier people. I will admit that. Lewis is pretty much undefeated. Kojo, I would say, is high in the high tier area here. I've seen a lot of Kojo debates recently, and I definitely can say that I'm pretty confident he is very good at what he does. Probably like right there next to Sig. Right, that seems pretty decent. Libiano, I would say that Libiano is pretty good overall for his debating ability. All right. Even if it's maybe not entirely substance, I would say that his rhetoric is very, very good, bro. Right. I don't know Samurai Hawk. I don't know who that is. Hero. I would say that Hero is pretty good. He's done a lot of pretty good debates, but also it's really hard to understand him a lot. Like, no offense to him, but yeah. Islamic Apex is high tier. I would definitely say that. I would rather debate Orthodox Muslim over Islamic Apex any day of the week when it comes to their ability to actually debate well. You know, I would have a harder time debating Anas, if that makes sense. Like way harder time debating Anas. Yakovos is definitely high tier. For sure. I'd say that he's probably like right here next to Nick and Dion. Jason and Talon, I would say that so this is gonna be weird, all right? But I'm gonna say personally that Talon overall as a debater is high tier, but Jason is pretty good. And there's a reason for that. All right. Talon, first off, has very good rhetoric to the point where he can kind of like convince you of shit like really easily. Like I've debated him many, many times over the course. So like my opinion on this is personal as well, is that he really knows overall the stuff that he does talk about. He knows massively, and he does know how to steer the conversation in his own direction very well. Vanity, I've never really seen Vanity actually debate, right? I've never actually seen Vanity debate himself. I would say that G1 is S. I think G1 is S tier overall. Okay. Yeah. Vienna, I would say is, I think, probably the highest in the high tier. I don't really necessarily think that he's like S tier. I think a lot of his historical arguments are a little weird. Okay. I would also say Cataclysm is high tier for that, and he would probably go like right here. That's probably a good spot.
And give me my rightful place on this list, Ka.
Yeah, dude. I would say you own the pretty good category. Like you own it, like it's yours. I don't think anybody could be better than you in that category overall.
I just had a debate last night.
You had like a formal one?
No, it was an impromptu one. I posted it on my YouTube.
Yes, I did put G1 above Sig, and the reason why is because G1 knows so much about like what he argues for, especially like in scholastic theology, that it's just like it's unreal, bro. Like I don't think I've ever heard him not be able to answer a question in his entire life, like ever. And that's like something that really matters in being able to debate. Okay.
Did you put Wi-Fi gospel on here?
Not yet, but I need to actually. Honestly, I would say that Wi-Fi gospel is probably with you in the same category. Right there. Moses. I would say that Moses overall is high tier. The oneness one, because there's multiple Moseses. But the oneness Moses, I would say, is like bottom of the high tier area, probably like around like right here, maybe. Next to Rumi and Anas. I think that's fair. Right. TI. I haven't really seen TI debate that much. I hate to say it, but I would honestly say Metaphysics Mike is decent. I mean, he has like a decent amount of biblical knowledge, but he doesn't hold conversations well. People walk all over him like all the time. I already put
more rhetoric than anything.
Yeah.
At Octavian33 super chatted $9.99 for more colored crayons. Love your work. I use yours, Jay's, Andrew's, Jim Bob's arguments at work. They get people to question their reality and worldview.
God bless Octavian. Thank you so much for the $10. I'm glad that my arguments are giving people shubahat. That is great to hear.
Jubob's on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Wait, no, he's not.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I follow him.
Bro, he does not. No,
He
I'm
d-
talking about
Jim
people who do
Jim
lives,
Bob
does.
bro.
Jim Bob does invasions on TikTok.
Jay Dyer, I'm not gonna do for this because Jay Dyer doesn't get to do streams on TikTok very often, and he gets banned pretty much instantly nowadays. So there's honestly no point in pairing him with these people. He doesn't normally do things on TikTok, so I don't want to compare him to all the people that are always on TikTok. You know what I mean? No, Jake the Muslim metaphysician is not going to count for this. Deathless, I have not ever seen that man debate. I have no idea who that is. Zero, I would say, is pretty good overall. I think he's a lot of rhetoric.
Zangrimadic 5974 super chatted $5. Put Noah down at ear so he doesn't get puffed up. Smiley face emoji.
That's how you know. That's how you know that they don't know that your name's John, bro. They still think that your name denotes Noah because it's in Greek. That's always so funny to me. I think it's in Greek, right? Is it in Greek or Cyrillic? I can't remember.
Slavonic.
Something like that, yeah. I already put
said,
God Logic on here.
someone said
God Logic's
Justin.
in high tier. Justin, as in like Nook Just, like that one. The
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
the Roman Catholic dude.
Yeah.
I'd say he's pretty good. I think it's like that. Yeah, I'd say he's pretty good. He's probably like in the same category as like, well, he's not better than Zero and Hero at all. But like right there. Danny, I would say, is definitely high tier. I think he crashes out too much and it throws people off pretty bad.
Where did he go, by the way? I haven't seen him in...
I don't know. Hasn't really been doing stuff very much. Moracopa, I would say that he's kind of like in the lower area of high tier. He's pretty good. I've watched a little bit more of him now. Reductio does do TikTok debates, and I would honestly say that Reductio is in the higher of the high tier. I would say that he's honestly on the same level about Nick, with Nick and Yakovos and KB. I think that they're pretty dang good. Darren, oh man, I don't know about that one. Honestly, like I think that like I'd say Darren's decent, in my opinion. I think he's got like a lot of like audience appeal. Right, I would say that he's the best decent one. I think he has audience appeal like massively. Right, I've seen him debate a couple times here. You know, Umar, Muslim Lighthouse Umar, or what?
Yeah, Muslim Lighthouse is Umar.
I would say, oh man,
I'd say he's pretty good. Like top of pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair here. Yeah, I'll be like right there. You know, I think that's fair. Mar Ruckus. I haven't seen him do a ton of debating. I'm gonna be real. I hate to say it, but Amin, I know that Amin's pretty good. Amin's pretty good. I mean, like right here. Leafy's decent. I mean, like his arguments are not high tier though. Like he's probably like with Gumbo, I'd say. Because it also depends on the type of arguments you make, right? Because if you're somebody who makes like really low, like just refuted over 1,000 times type arguments, it's just kind of like, bro, like I don't even know. Twax, I would say, is pretty good. I haven't seen a ton of his debates, but I'd say he's probably like right there. Zoom in so we can see the names. Okay, hold on. Let me fix my camera so you guys can see it better. Boom. All right. This is what we got so far. Orthodox Luigi. I would say he's pretty good. I would say he's like right here. Okay. Luigi's probably like pretty good. I think that's fair. It's a give. Michael, as in nihilist Michael. I would say he's like in the higher area, pretty good.
Yo,
you
doing this tier list, or you want to talk about the background?
I mean, we could talk about the background. I don't mind. I'm just doing this
Yeah, I
until
was about to
somebody
say
wanted to have a
this.
conversation.
Yeah, so I'm not Christian because I'm Muslim, you know, and I believe Islam is the truth, and Islam contradicts Christianity, so therefore can't be a Christian.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
I guess, do you have any
and I
issues with
find zero
Christianity you want to talk
faults.
about, or do you want me to address Islam? Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah, can you address Islam?
I mean, yeah, like, honestly, I would just go towards the, kind of like the same thing that I would pretty much ask anybody within Islam is that, like, how would you be able to actually figure out if Muhammad is properly in continuity with the prophets before him?
How do you find continuity?
Continuity would be teaching the same doctrine.
I know what it is. I said, how do you find continuity?
What are you talking? Wait, I'm saying finding the same doctrine, right? Teaching the same doctrine and those types of things would be the way that you
Where do you
find
find the
continuity.
doctrine of? Where do you find it?
It would be within whatever texts that you believe are correct.
I don't believe the Quran is correct, and I
You
believe
only,
parts
but you
of the Bible is.
okay. So you only believe parts of the Bible are correct. So again, how would you be able to show? Because Muhammad claims that he's of Abraham, right? He's of the Abrahamic faith. So what would you use to be able to show that Muhammad is within continuity with Abraham?
The Quran, and
The thing that makes the claim that Muhammad's a prophet, that's the thing you'd use?
Yeah.
You don't see the problem with that?
No, because the trustworthiness shows that
that Muhammad was able to what?
Yeah. So if I prove to you that Muhammad is a prophet of God, right? And he makes a claim. Now, does he need to verify? Do you need to verify that claim?
In the Abrahamic tradition, in order to be a prophet of God, you had to prove that you were actually in line with the prophets that came before you.
I didn't really answer the question, though.
I mean, you did. You just said, do they have to prove it? I said,
all right,
yeah.
Let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase it so you can actually answer it because you're Christian. If I showed you Jesus, if I showed you Jesus, hello.
Somebody sent a super chat, bro. Sorry, go ahead. Thank you for the $10, Abby.
If I showed you Jesus as a prophet of God, right? Or let me just rephrase that because you're gonna say he's God or whatever.
I'm sorry. Thank you again, Abby. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh my gosh, you just keep sending. Sorry, one second.
I can wait. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Abby. I appreciate.
I mean,
that.
she's losing money, not me. So.
Yeah.
Probably your husband's money.
Probably what?
Her husband's.
She might make her own money. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So if I showed you Moses as a true prophet of God before continuity, all that.
I thought you said Jesus prior to this.
Yeah, but I don't want to say Jesus because he's your God or whatever. You know, you might get offended.
Yeah,
or
but
something.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not I do believe that Moses is a prophet of God. So I mean, if you're able to show that Jesus is a prophet of God, I think that would be the best evidence. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about the Bible.
Yeah, I don't want to run that argument. I just wanted to understand. Like,
is it because you know that the New Testament's pretty explicit, brother? That he's not just a prophet.
Yeah, it is. What? I'm a Muslim. Why that? Like, do you think you're speaking to like Leafy or like Libiano or Essential Dow or any of these like idiot clowns who say that the New Testament doesn't say Jesus is God?
I mean, I don't know who I'm speaking to, man. I don't know you.
Yeah. Well, let me make that clear. So, they don't speak from an Islamic perspective. In Islam, our scholars make it very clear that the Bible does say Jesus is God.
Okay.
Right. So, they're weird for saying that, right? Okay. And not all Muslims believe that. Right, we give you guys your scripture and we grant that you guys say Jesus is God. Now, back to the thing. If I showed you Moses as a prophet of God, right?
I believe he's a prophet of God.
Perfect. And he makes a claim of continuity. He says, I am on the same religion as Abraham. Right?
Yeah.
But you can't like confirm it, like except by his word of mouth. But you know he's a prophet of God. Is there going to be an issue there?
Well, the difference is that Moses was capable of demonstrating that all of the things that he was writing was actually correct when it came to that continuity. So there's a difference, right?
How did you have the scripture of Abraham?
Well, visual confirmation actually explicitly from God, and God actually coming to other people telling them that. right? These
So other
different types of
ways.
attestation. I never said that, obviously, that there's other ways to determine that somebody is a prophet by itself. I never said that wasn't
So
possible.
how else?
But the issue is that Muhammad claims to be of that line, which we do possess writings of these other people, which is a different
No, you
form of
don't.
criteria. What do you mean? No, we don't.
You don't possess no writings from Jesus or Paul or John or any of the previous prophets.
Paul was a prophet to you?
No, hell no. But of your scripture, you don't possess
I,
your writings, dude. You don't got your scripture.
I
What's
mean,
wrong with you?
I definitely have my scriptures. I mean, they're right there. I'm looking
No,
at it.
you don't.
I'm looking at it right now.
You're looking at the writings of Jesus?
Yeah, I am.
I'm lying, bro.
Not the
Jesus didn't
writings
even
of
write it.
Jesus,
What are you talking about?
the sayings of Jesus. Okay, well, you want to, dude? You want to blunder that bad? You're not looking at the writings of Muhammad. I mean, come on, bro. Like, don't make me do this shit with you.
What's wrong with you?
Huh?
Why are you cussing? Why are you cussing? What's wrong with you?
Why are you pearl clutching, bro?
Pearl clutch?
Does it actually bother you? Does it bother you that bad?
I care less, to be honest. I just
all right, well,
don't cuss at me. I can care less if you cuss.
Why are you potty signaling? I didn't cuss at you. I just said a word regarding my statement. I didn't even say anything.
Yeah, which was towards me,
bro.
But look, man, I'm a man, so just treat me with respect. But yeah, look. Anyways, you don't got your scripture, man. You don't got your scripture. Scripture wasn't preserved. Can you agree on that? It wasn't preserved.
I mean, you just made a claim that it's not preserved. Can you prove that?
Yeah. How would you want me to prove it? So
what do you mean? How do you want? What you just said?
Yeah. How would you want me to prove it so I can prove it to you? Because I can bring you historians saying it. You're definitely gonna reject them. I could bring you the variants of manuscripts. You're probably gonna reject that too. So what do you want?
There's variants of manuscripts in both of our religions. Who cares about that?
No, there isn't.
Yeah, there is.
You can't show me too. Go ahead.
You want me to show you the difference between the Cairo version of the Quran, which is the 1927 version, versus the version found in the Birmingham manuscripts of Surah 20 and 21? Do you want me to show you those differences? You want?
Yeah, bring them. Cairo?
Yeah, the 1927 edition, which is the modern Quran that is used by most people.
31 super chatted $10. Chillax. Respect.
Thank you. Appreciate that again.
Yeah, I know I let him run, bro. It's fine. I like defending Islam anyways.
Say that again?
Someone told me I let you run. I said it's fine. I like defending Islam anyways.
That I ran? Dude, I'm totally cool with you.
I don't like speaking about I don't like attacking Christianity because I could care less about your religion, to be honest. Like, that's no disrespect. I'm sure you feel the same way with Islam, right?
What?
Be all right.
Are you an AI? What's going on right now? I don't know what you're saying.
Can you show me the verse or the two different quote unquote Qurans that you said that
yes,
you have?
I haven't pulled this stuff in forever, so you got to give me a minute.
Of what chapter and verse?
Yeah, I said, you got to give me a minute to bring it up. I don't normally debate about this.
But you said the chapter and verse. You said 60 something 21, or what'd you say?
No, I'm talking about the Birmingham.
Yeah, but you said of the specific verse and chapter, and you said it twice, but I don't know why I won't say it again.
Okay, so again,
what was the verse?
Well, I have to bring it up.
But you said it already.
I said that the difference between Surah, because the Birmingham manuscript is only Surah 20 and 21. That's the reason why I said the chapters. You know that, right?
The Birmingham manuscript is bigger than that.
Really? All right. Here's the website on birmingham.ac.uk. All right, where they actually talk about its preservation. So, not Surah in 2021, I apologize. Surah 18 through 20, and it only contains parts of them. And that's the entire manuscript. And it's in an Arabic script form known as Hijazi, which is not something that is used in the Cairo edition. Meaning that it does have different words that are used for different contexts. So, how does the manuscript variance? Again, I have to freaking try to find all the things for it. I was just showing you that this thing by itself Like, it's not the entire Quran, so I don't know why you tried to make that argument.
I just said it's more than that. I didn't say it was the entire. Did I say it was the entire Quran?
All right, bro. Like, freaking, you're just messing with me at this point. Look, I'm gonna bring this stuff up here still while I'm waiting, but that I don't even know like why you're acting like that. Like, you know, when I was one surah off, and then you said no, it's bigger than that. When you were shown that it was two, it was two surahs, right? That's on that, and there's only parts of those surahs in it. Technically speaking, like, it's not any different than that. You were just being dishonest with me, and you know that. You just tried to strawman me. How did I strawman you? I didn't make an argument against your position. How does that a straw, dude? Go learn words. That's what you should do. Go learn some words, okay?
Yeah, we have 24,000 total New Testament manuscripts, and 70% of all the differences between the manuscripts are simple spelling. There is less than 0.02 in terms of substantive differences.
Hold on one second. What's up, Jason? How you doing?
How's it going, man?
Doing good, bro. What's going on?
Nothing. I just came in here, bro. I remember when you used to be on Discord. You used to debate all those people, bro. Now you're having like actual formal debates, dude.
Oh my gosh,
That's
bro.
crazy.
You knew me back when I was a Protestant, dude. Holy
dude, I don't remember exactly when it was, but I've known you for a little bit. Then you had that Discord, and then you started having, like I said, I seen that that YouTube stream where you're actually having genuine formal debates with like other big creators. That was crazy, man. I watched at least some of it, you know.
Yeah, bro. No, that's cool. I think I remember you. It was in Edgy, right? That server.
Yeah. Oh man, it's bad. It's worse than ever, man. Everyone in there is just LARPing. I mean, that's how it always has been, though.
That's crazy. That was so long ago, man. Oh my goodness, it's like 3 years ago at this point.
Okay, dude. Glory to God, man. I just want to come in and say, like, congratulations. That's awesome, man. Hopefully, you can make something out of it in a nice, glorifying way for God, man. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, God bless, man. I appreciate that.
God bless you.
Man, bringing me back to my roots. Back to my roots when my whole freaking world was just debating against atheists my whole life. Man.
I remember that when you were in that chair. I remember that.
Yeah.
You had like, your whole setup was schizo, by the way. I remember.
I know it was, bro. All right. 1976, bro. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. All right, give me more people.
Dr. Khalil Andani.
Dr. Khalil Gandhi. I'd say he's high tier. I know he does debates on here. I'd say he's probably like here.
At Abixion 3931 super chatted $10. My apologies for interrupting the debate with my supers.
No, it's not a problem. It was actually quite funny. I'm not going to lie to you. It was, I actually enjoyed it. Thank you very much for sending the super chats. Your support has been fantastic tonight.
In the atheist.
Honestly, yeah, I'd say Dr. Khalil is probably S tier. You're probably right there, man. I think that he is. His knowledge is pretty wild, bro. I'd say that's valid, you know.
His knowledge on Platonism is pretty valid.
Yeah. I would say that Slim is probably like right here in S tier, like this place. You know. I think that's a valid position. Boom.
I said Elijah Johnson.
Does Melito of Sardis hold a modalistic view? I don't personally think he does. But that's just my opinion. I haven't read a lot of him yet. Okay. I already put you on here, Yakovos. You're up here, bro. See?
At Octavian 33 super chatted $9.99. Abby, have you no decorum?
Thank you very much again for the support there, Octavian. That's funny. Thank you. Ziego. I'd say Ziego's pretty good. I don't think he's that crazy. I think he kind of just like regurgitates stuff that Sam Shamoon says, and it doesn't seem very, very crazy. Duong doesn't debate on TikTok. This is a TikTok debater tier list. This is not like the massive list of like every person I could possibly think of. This is only people that are that do TikTok debating frequently. Fozzie
Someone said
Dawa.
Itachi.
Never heard that dude debate.
Me neither. Who's it? Someone said Itachi.
Itachi. Is that a Muslim?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's pretty high, isn't he? He's high tier. Yeah.
No, it's a woman.
Oh, then I definitely don't know who you're talking about.
I'd probably put either like higher middle end of pretty good, or yeah, I'll put it like 5th place pretty good.
This plays pretty good for them. Okay. I'll believe you. This list sucks. Yeah, nobody's ever gonna have similar opinions, of course. Mirik high tier, dude. I don't really know. Ooh.
At Abixion 3931 super chatted $10. My first time here. I don't know. This isn't Crucible? JK.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
At
Dude.
Anthony Swampman super chatted $10. Got to reach the stream goal.
Oh, we definitely reached it today, guys. The stream goal has been met. That's crazy. I don't even normally get that, man. That's fantastic.
At Zangrymadic 5974 super chatted $5. Show us your humility by rating yourself, Bryce.
Maybe at the end. I don't know if I want to do that yet.
Hello?
Turkey grift. Yeah, dude, turkey grift.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Can I ask a question?
Sure, man.
You believe Jesus was all knowing, right?
Yeah.
I'm a Christian, by the way. So
you have another question on top of that?
Yeah. Would it be an issue if, as a human, he wasn't all knowing?
Yes.
So, as a baby, was he all knowing, like when he was first born?
In a sense, yeah, he would be.
How does that work? Because doesn't it say like he grew in wisdom?
It says that he grew in wisdom, like the way that the fathers explicate that statement, like the way that they. Oh my gosh.
Octavian 33 super chatted $9.99. Abby, my second time here. Not yet, but soon it will be.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that again. So the way that the fathers explicate that passage is they basically say that due to the fact that the divine nature still possesses that knowledge, and the two minds of Christ are in a mutual indwelling with each other, or it's also called perichoresis. The human mind has not manifested that said knowledge yet, but it does possess it in a general manner. So basically,
the general manner.
Yeah, the divine mind basically is the thing that technically instructs the human mind to basically actualize certain things within it at a time. That's how that would work. Yo, Bryce, it's MDC. Rate my boy DK. DK's S.
Another one. So, does that mean like you would believe a human can fully comprehend God?
No.
Wouldn't Jesus, like in his human nature, have to be able to fully comprehend God for him to be all knowing, though?
No, he is God, so that's how he can fully comprehend God.
Like, but fully comprehending God would have to do with knowledge, though, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that he possesses the knowledge, but the knowledge hasn't actually been manifested outwards.
So he does in his human nature, like whether it's been manifested or not, like he does possess.
He possesses it, but it hasn't actually been manifested in himself yet.
Would that, like, does that same concept work towards, not in the sense like a regular human like me or you could fully comprehend God, but do we have knowledge that isn't manifested yet?
Do we have knowledge? Say that again? What?
Do we also have knowledge that isn't manifest yet?
No. So we would actually basically we would be under the suffering of potency to act, right? So we would go from not knowing to knowing. So then therefore the manifesting is contingent on the potency going to actuality, which is not the same thing as Jesus possessing it already in actuality and then manifesting it directly through the divine mind. So it wouldn't be the same.
So like when you say knowing, are you saying like, this probably isn't a good way to put it, but like if you were to ask him a question, if he thought of what the answer is, he's going to know that answer. Like there would never be a point where he would say, "Oh, I don't know." But like
Yes.
he's not constantly thinking of everything always.
Yes. Sure.
Oh, okay. So like in his human nature, like does he maybe in heaven is different, but when he was on earth, like was he constantly hearing people's prayers? Or was that be something through his divine mind alone?
That would be through the divine mind, but the human mind was the thing that was actually manifesting it outwards towards the people. Like for example, when he would actually walk up to certain people and say, "I saw you under the fig tree," for example, when Nathaniel was crying out to God. Right, like he would already have possessed that knowledge in his divine mind. It was then manifested through his human mind, which then basically had him go to Nathaniel and say, "I saw you under the fig tree." He would still possess the knowledge via perichoresis or the mutual indwelling, but it was manifested at a certain time when it was necessary for Nathaniel to believe.
So would another word, because that might help me understand it better. I'm not trying to straw man. Would another word, like, could you say it's transferred from the divine mind to the human mind? Not that the divine mind loses it.
That's a way that it's talked about with the fathers. That's kind of what I was trying to get at. But it's transferred insofar as it being actually given outwards, right? So like he would possess it due to the fact that it's in an indwelling with the divine mind, but it would not be actually outward expressed. It wouldn't be outwardly expressed until a certain time.
So like I'm not orthodox. It's something I'm looking into, but I do have struggles in certain parts. But in theosis, do we also like start having that same type of, I guess you could say, ability, I guess?
To a degree, because of the fact that we are participating with God's energies, and God's energies are deifying us to the point where we will basically be able to participate in what that's like, but not basically be the ones who originate it or cause it. Like in the book of Revelation, for example, John the Apostle, when he is taken up to heaven, he says that he could hear all of creation. And so if he's what? Say again?
You wouldn't call that like hyperbole? Like you think like genuinely he did hear all of creation?
Yeah, I think he genuinely had the ability to possess a form of omniscience that he was participating in.
Interesting.
Also, really quickly, also, when he sees the 24 elders, you can see, say, in the eschaton will have some sort of prescience or foresight, because in the eschaton in the book of Revelation, where he sees the 24 elders, so it's 12 apostles and the 12 patriarchs. Well, John is one of the 12 apostles. He's seeing himself in the future.
I'm sorry, can you say that part again about the 12, what's it called? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so in the book of Revelation, where John sees the 12 patriarchs and 12 apostles, you can see this also includes a sense of foresight or prescience in the eschaton that we'll also have, because he sees himself on the divine council when he sees himself as part of the 12 apostles.
Even though that he hasn't died yet, he's still he can still see himself when he's dead on the divine council.
Oh, okay. When you say divine council, like, is that kind of what Michael Heiser talks about? Because I do like him. That was one like
you'd have to tell me
into something.
You'd have to tell me what he says about it. I'm not sure. Who again?
Michael Heiser.
I haven't read what he said on that. You'd have to tell me, Steelman, what he thinks about it.
He uses, I think, like Psalms 82 to kind of show like some with the divine council there who use it, where God kind of, when he asks like who's going to go down and deceive, I forget who, and he'll like show like these were examples of like the divine council where God will let either angels or sometimes human participate in what he decides to do or how he decides to do it. This is to be fair, I'm probably not explaining him properly.
$9.99 for a beard brush.
This dude's just freaking trying to get me to change all my possessions out, bro.
Wild.
I just use this comb because it works really well, bro. It just gets through everything and it gets all the knots out, brother. It works well.
You got beard oil, man? You gotta get some beard oil, man.
I got beard oil. I use it, but at the same time, I have an extremely thick beard. So it's still just kind of like sometimes gets a little bit knotted. And it also prevents me because I have a really bad habit of like picking at it sometimes. So when I'm combing it, it makes it to where I don't do that.
Valid.
Skeptic, if you want to know where I got this from, and you could probably understand it a bit better. Father Stephen DeYoung. You can look at Religion of the Apostles. Be excellent.
That's a book.
Yeah.
You said Religion of the Apostles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
DeYoung.
Okay, give me one sec.
No, Gabe,
On
you
like the
cannot pet my
knowledge
beard.
part of like Jesus from his divine mind to his human mind, like what would be a good resource to look into that?
Actually, I would say probably Saint Cyril of Alexandria.
Certain book or just in general?
Yeah, the let me see here. Let me see if there's a specific ones that would be good for that. I'm looking real quick at what I have.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 different works on the Unity of Christ by Saint Cyril of Alexandria, and then the Scalia.
The Unity of Christ.
Yeah, and then the Scalia on the Incarnation.
Can you spell that? I'm kind of slow. Just SCO.
SCHOLIA.
It was Scalia of Christ?
Yeah, the Scalia on the Incarnation.
Scalia on the Incarnation. These aren't books I have to buy. Like, I can find this online.
Yeah, you could just read these online, dude. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, these are actually just on, like, New Advent or something. I don't even think you have to download something.
Okay. And then last one, I got more, but I want to hold you up for questions. I was on, like, when I hear, because I was on, like, an atheist live, how would you define faith? Because I always define it as just, like, something with no evidence whatsoever. You just believe it because you basically want to.
No, I would say that faith is basically belief using reason.
Belief using on that a little bit more?
So it's basically believing in something to be the case, not knowing it for absolute certainty, but based off of your reasoning and your, I guess, also spirituality, that these 2 things would basically come hand in hand to determine whether or not you have faith in something. Because in the Orthodox view, we also possess this faculty called the nous, which is the eye of the heart, or the eye of the soul, which is basically our spiritual faculty that allows us to commune with God. And so everybody possesses one, but you may not have faith in God. You may only know that God exists, right? You may have a rational argument for God, but you don't have faith in him because of the fact that your spirituality is low.
So would you draw a distinction between faith and, like, belief? Or those 2 would just be synonymous?
Yeah, the Bible actually draws a distinction between belief and faith in the book of James in chapter 2. It says that even the demons believe.
Oh, okay,
right?
Yeah, fair enough.
But faith is something that's actually like an exercised thing. Belief is simply just basically looking up and going, "Yeah, you're real," and that's about it.
Okay.
Faith is actually trusting in him. And choosing to follow what he said. You can believe all you want, but if you don't actually exercise that belief, then it's not faith.
Okay. Can you give me one? There's one thing I gotta check. Can you give me 1 second? I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, good.
Cool.
Chris, would you be down for debating, formal debate with Dr. Blitz on the existence of God for $500 each?
No, he literally, I heard him one time when somebody attempted to make they started to say a single philosophical word to him, and he says, "I don't do philosophical gibberish," and kicked him. So he debates the existence of God solely from empirical evidence, and that is it. And that's first off, that's an extremely dishonest way to even approach debating about the existence of God at all. So there's literally no point to even try.
You'd actually
he will not actually allow worldview comparisons to occur. So there's just no point.
What is the fallacy called? Cookies in the pantry.
Crackers in the pantry.
Isn't it? Crackers in the pantry.
Yeah.
Wrestling, he already debated Ian.
What?
The guy who requested this, his name was Wrestling, and he was like, "Well, what about Blitz?" And then, well, he
debate
said
Ian
that Blitz
for $500. I'd have $1,000 then because I've debated him twice already. He actually is at least honest enough to talk about philosophy. So
He said there was no inherent quote unquote contradict. There's nothing inherent he could point out in Eastern Orthodoxy that's
yes,
against his intuitions.
yes. So again, like he's honest enough to be able to have a good conversation. I mean, I talked and had like a debate with Ian for like 2 hours straight on like orthodoxy, and you know it remained peaceful and fruitful the entire time because he's not actually as bad as people try to say he is. It's just a lot of people make arguments because a lot of the people that go up on his panel all the time are very low tier, and when they attempt to like actually try to make like random like for example, if like you try to make a critique or an argument for the existence of God by just saying, look at all the trees, bro. I mean, come on. That's going to piss people off. That'll piss an atheist off.
$9.99 for an icon over the electric panel or something else on your right.
I got icons over here actually that you just can't see them from the stream, but I was thinking about possibly repositioning them to be like over there maybe or something, like cover it up. That'd be fine.
Is Jabril a real guest, or is that just another one of your...
I don't know. I let him up here because he was requesting.
I do have more questions, but you can talk to him. Would it be okay if I have back up here? Because I do have questions about orthodoxy itself.
Yeah, sure. Once you're done, you can come back up.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. What's up, Jabril?
It was good, host. Can I answer the question?
You're welcome to, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't believe God interacts with humanity. I believed in a necessary existence or like an unmoved mover. What's the argument or reason you would give that this thing would actually interact with humanity or care about humanity?
Yeah, I've used the argument from divine conceptualism because divine conceptualism is something that presupposes basically that God interacts with us at least by the fact that we can possess knowledge in the first place. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, all right.
I haven't used it in a while, so it's just sitting on one of my notes on my phone. Where are you at? There we go. So premise one is that truths are propositions that correspond to reality. That's definitional. Premise two is that propositions are inherently mind dependent and they exist as contents of thought or intellect, which is the ontological premise. Conclusion one is that therefore, if necessary truths are, therefore necessary truths are mind dependent. Sorry, that's from P1 and 2. P3 is that there exist necessary truths like the law of non-contradiction that hold universally and cannot fail to be. That's just an axiom of modality. P4 is that contingent minds cannot ground necessary truth. Conclusion one is that necessary truths require a necessarily existing mind to exist eternally and universally. That's from P3 and 4. And then conclusion two, therefore, there exists a necessary mind that grounds necessary truths, which is commonly identified as God, and that's from P5 by necessary implication. All of these things combined, if you're able to conclude the fact that basically whoever this God is something that possesses a mind, and it's something that he would possess as a will, so he would then therefore possess a will. And then if he possesses a will, then therefore if creation exists, it has to be something either he willed or he's not all-powerful and basically couldn't have control over creation in general. So then therefore he had to have willed creation in some way, shape, or form, meaning he had an intention for that creation.
So if I was like a necessitarian, right? How would you like argue that?
Like that
like God doesn't have like a free will he necessarily created, yeah.
So you would say that the universe is eternal then by that case as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would honestly just say that like due to the fact that that leads to like a pretty bad infinite regress of things existing, that you wouldn't actually be able to reach the point of the necessary being at all, because you'd have to basically have infinite amounts of contingencies, so you can't actually stop at the necessary.
Infinite amount of what?
Well, so if
No, we
for
take.
example, if the universe itself is eternal, the universe is contingent,
Mhm.
right? Like in a general sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So if the universe itself is contingent in a general sense, then therefore, if you're trying to make an argument for any form of necessary being, it's impossible because there's an infinite amount of contingent regress that just occurs, where there's no way to stop at the necessary being.
No, no. So contingent here would mean, would you say failed to exist, or would you say
That it had
dependent?
that it had the ability to exist, or that honestly, I'm okay with either one. It depends on the context we're talking
Hmm.
about. Could
Yeah.
fail to
So if you
obtain.
use the
We can do that.
yeah. So yeah, okay. So if we use that, right, we would say it's basically like, I think both the definitions work, right? So we would say contingent would just be something that's basically ontologically dependent on something prior to it, right, or higher to it. So if there is an infinite list of contingencies, this doesn't really disprove that
But you can't
this
get to the
infinite set
necessary being that
is.
causes it.
No, you can, you can.
You
So
can't because there's
I'm just.
it's an infinite like circle in a way of contingent things. So you can't actually ever get to the point where there is a necessary thing that causes that.
Yeah, so it's this circle itself, right? Even if it is eternal, right, or infinite, would be ontologically dependent on the uncaused cause or the necessary existence.
Yeah, let me put it like this. Right,
Yeah.
because like let me put it up here in my schizo painting. Right. So if you basically have like an infinite regress, because eternal universe does necessitate an infinite regress to agree. To a sense, I'm sure you would agree with that. Right? Is that if there is basically an infinite regress of things that are contingent by itself, and then there is basically this right here, like the monad, which is, it kind of sounds like the type of thing you affirm, like the necessary Neoplatonic monad. Is that something that you like? Are you like
Yeah, yeah. I agree
Ismaili
with
or something?
Neoplatonism. No, I'm not Ismaili, but I agree
Okay.
with some sort of Neoplatonic model.
Okay. So if you're making the argument for God's existence in any sense regarding necessity, of this being the necessary being, right? That in order to be able to actually suppose that contingency leads to necessity, you'd have to be able to actually find a starting point to all contingency, and you can't do that if there's an infinite regress of contingencies.
Yeah, because we're referring to the whole set itself. We're talking about simultaneous cause, not like a temporal cause, right? That's the different distinction when we make the argument
Yeah, but
for
if
the
there's an
necessary
infinite,
existence.
yeah, but if there's an infinite amount of effects or manifestations of whatever the monad is, then you can't actually denote a difference, right, between like what the monad would be versus what the actual objects that exist would be. That's why it would be unknowable. You wouldn't be able to know
No,
this.
no, you would, because it's about simultaneous causation. So I don't know if you know the distinction between like temporal causation and simultaneous causation. But simultaneous causation would just be like there's the rays of the sun, right? They are ontologically dependent on the sun, right, for their existence. But there's no actual like time that you can say like the rays came about after the sun or something in like a temporal sense. Like it was simultaneous when the sun existed, the rays came about like almost instantaneously, right? That would be like the explanation.
So let me put it like this: like, is there ever a time where the monad exists and this doesn't, in any sense?
Ontologically, yeah. Logically, prior, yeah.
Ontologically or logically? Because like you can't both, like in your
It can
system.
be both.
But if it's ontologically prior, then that means that there was a literal situation where this circle wasn't even going.
The circle wasn't going.
The contingent, like the infinite regress of contingent objects. This right here, if it's ontologically dependent on the monad, then that means that the monad had to go from not doing this to doing this.
No, it's always doing it. That's the whole point.
So then it wouldn't be ontological. You'd have to say that it's just a logical priority.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So if it's just simply a logical priority, right, then it's not something that actually denotes the ontology of these two things. So if you have all of the stuff in contingency and then you have the monad in necessity, then how do you actually show that there is a distinction between these two things?
Yeah, one is the necessary cause and one is
Uh,
the necessary
You're
effect.
you're
That's the
saying it's
distinction.
necessary. You're saying that this is necessary. That's the thing that's in question. How do you actually come to the conclusion that thing is necessary if the contingencies are also infinite?
If the contingency, yeah, because it's the cause. It's the cause
I,
of the effect,
I don't
right?
think you. I don't think you're
The
tracking what I'm
effect
saying.
can
Like,
be
I'm not trying to be
infinite,
rude, but
right?
what?
Yeah, go ahead.
No. So like you're making a claim here that the monad is the thing that is necessary that denotes all of the contingencies, right? The thing that denotes the necessary thing as necessary in the first place is the fact that it causes all the contingent things and that it is in the state that it's in. The state would be, like what, infinite or pre-existing? Like what's the actual property that this monad would possess that doesn't automatically purport to the contingent things as well?
What's the property that the monad have that
Yeah, like what
is
kind of
not?
property or attribute or something like that could we basically apply to the monad that I can't automatically just apply to the contingent thing as well? This is kind of like a Leibniz problem.
The one or the monad, I don't know what the monad is, but the one from Plotinus would be
That's monad, yeah.
complete. Yeah, the monad would be have no multiplicity, right? And it would be absolute unity insofar as that there is no distinctions between anything in the monad, right? So it's one ontology.
Yeah, but just
And the
saying that
contingent
there's
things would have multiple distinctions and multiple existence.
Yeah, but saying that there's distinctions, for example, for all things whatsoever, right? You'd have to say that the monad. So this is going to lead into a different problem now. So the way that you just worded, let me get rid of all these freaking schizo things I made. So when you're talking about, for example, the distinction that we have is due to the fact that the monad is simple and the contingent things are not, right? Then therefore you'd be falling into this thing called the problem of the one and the many. Do you know what that is?
No.
This was basically the demon of the Platonists, of the Neoplatonists and the Platonists, is that if the monad necessarily has to create, or in any way, shape, or form, or that it naturally flows outwards things that are distinct from each other, then therefore, if this thing is simple, then in some way, shape, or form, it has to have the fundamental nature of also being multiple, but it doesn't. Because you're saying there's absolutely no distinctions in any sense to the monad. So then therefore, how is something that has no ontological existence to multiplicity in any sense, then therefore lead to things that are contingent in here that are distinct?
Yeah, so after the overflow, right, we believe that it creates the nous, right?
Yeah, the
The
world
first
soul. Yeah, the world
creation, or the
soul.
first intellect, right?
The world soul. Yeah.
Yeah, the first intellect, right?
Yeah.
There's no actual, it's actually still simple, right? We don't believe it's has multiplicity. The only distinction that comes about is like a conceptual distinction between like the knowledge and the knower, right? And for the
Yeah.
monad or the one, there would be no distinction between knowledge and the knower, right?
Yeah, I understand that you guys would hold a
So,
purely logical
so
distinction in terms of the monad itself. My point is that if there is no form of multiplicity that's fundamental to the monad itself, then how is it causing things that are not in any way, shape, or form about its ontology?
because everything that's produced by it or basically coming about from it, right, is not gonna be the full version of it, right? It's like an emanation of the thing, but it's not the whole thing itself, right?
Yeah, I know that you would say that it's an emanation of the thing. But the problem is that if the monad has the ability to create emanations of itself to the point where there's things that are distinct from each other in reality, then therefore the monad has to be fundamental in some way, shape, or form to that. That can't be something that it just does, because it has to be proper to its nature to be able to actually perform something that's multiple, to perform multiple emanations. If there's no distinctions within the thing itself, then how is it causing those effects that way?
there's no distinctions, how is it causing the effects?
No, I'm saying I may have said it like that. I'm sorry. If there's no distinctions within the
It's
thing
okay, it's okay.
itself, yeah, you're good. If there's no distinctions within the thing itself, right? Then when it causes multiplicity, you have to say that in some way, shape, or form. There's no distinctions in it, but it does naturally have the ability to cause things that are distinct by itself, but it's not proper to its nature. The monad's nature would simply just be simple by itself, right? And there's no multiplicity that denotes it at all. So then therefore, if anything distinct exists, then therefore it's making something that is not in any way, shape, or form tied to it. This is actually one of the arguments for the necessity of the Trinity, because the Trinity actually solves the problem of the one and the many.
I see. Yeah, I haven't looked into this. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, there's a couple papers that exist on it. I can't remember exactly which one now that I can think about. The problem of the one and the many, and you can look at Plato and Plotinus's issue with this, because it's one of the few things that they didn't address.
Yeah. I'll look into it.
Brother Deacon Admiris has a pretty
and
excellent
you're
paper.
saying you're saying that this problem is basically where you would like use the Trinity to come to a conclusion, like a Trinity is necessary or something.
A Trinity would be necessary logically from this because of the fact, or a multiplicity in the God we're talking about. Because if multiplicity can exist in the world, then it has to, in some way, shape, or form, denote the way that the actual necessary being exists in some way. Otherwise, it's making something outside of the way it is, which doesn't make any sense if it's coming naturally from it, like you guys affirm.
Yeah. I think I understand what you're saying. I'm gonna look into it.
All right, cool,
thank
bro.
you.
Yeah, appreciate it. It was a good combo.
Appreciate the conversation. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Really quickly, Bryce, Crucified asked, Bryce, do you deny that the Son and the Spirit are produced by fecundity, intellection, and volition?
Analogically, yeah, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't. The intellection and volition is not actual formalities in God. They're just analogical.
Who speaks on this more? Would you say Augustine does?
Well, I mean, Augustine definitely talks about it a lot in terms of him actually saying that it's not something that denotes God's ontology. But St. Gennadios is the one that actually does that specific critique. He has it in his work called On Scotus's Doctrine, where he actually goes through the whole fecundity problem and talks about how you can't use intellection and volition by itself to denote the processions in God because of the fact that it's analogical. It's not something that actually denotes real formalities or real relations in God by itself.
Right, you can't mentally ascend to these processions alone.
Yeah, I would say, Bible guy, that if they use the multiplicity of Allah's attributes to justify the one and the many, that depends though, because most Muslims would say that the attributes themselves are not Allah, so it's different, right? If we're talking about the essence of Allah, we're talking about the actual inter-God life, right? Even if we're not talking about the Trinity by itself, they do believe that the attributes would not be identified with Allah in any sense. If I say that the Trinity, in terms of the persons, are materially identical are materially identical to the essence of God, then basically you could say that God in his nature is 3 and 1 and 1 and 3, as St. Maximus says many times, right? Not literally that the essence is split in 3 or something like that, but that basically you can denote 1 and 3 in the essence. And so there's a multiplicity within it to a degree. But I'm trying to think here. The way that most Muslims actually have their ontology denoted with God is that they would say that it's not God, right? They would say that it's not Allah and that it's distinct from Allah and it's not Allah, but it's not separated from Allah. So it wouldn't be able to actually denote anything about Allah's essence. So I don't think that they would actually get out of the problem of the one and the many with saying his attributes exist, right? Because they wouldn't actually be denoted with Allah's essence.
At Abixiong 3,931 super chatted $10 gold.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Abby. We met 2 goals today. That's
Imagine I've been trying to I've been trying to explain to my friend who's inquiring in Orthodox. He's pretty like, far ahead in terms of like metaphysics and logic and stuff.
What the heck?
But
sorry.
Explain to him how we can participate in nature and not the distinction between essence and nature. He's kind of like brain broken by that.
Dion, you're up here, dude. Right here, high tier. With Cataclysm and Bear the Image. Gabe, I also have you right here in high tier.
What would you say to that though? Like if I were to explain him in, I don't know, maybe simpler terms, if that's possible, we participate in nature, but not necessarily the essence. We can denote the nature of a thing, but not the essence.
Because when we're denoting the nature of a thing, we're talking about it in the formality of energy, right? So that's the reason why we would say that we participate in the divine nature in that way, rather than it being like literally the essence of God by itself.
Right. Instead of saying we're formally participating in.
We're formally participating in the nature, in the energies.
I don't see my name, bro.
Bro, you're right here, man. Look.
Oh, snap.
You might be
Is it like in order, even on the high tier? Like, is that where I'm at in high tier?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll agree with that.
Who are you better at in here?
I think you should duel me for this.
Duel you?
Yes.
Like TikTok duel?
No, brother. No.
I was like
medieval ages.
Oh, medieval ages? Wait, but why would you duel me? I'm not on the list.
You're the arbiter.
I'm the arbiter, brother. It's a tier
listen.
list.
People think so. Look, it's like the Jews, right? They put white people against black people, but really we should be going after them. You're the Jew in this case.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even know what you just said, dude.
So look, Judaistic propaganda puts a white man and a black man against one another, but really, it's the Jew who is doing this behind the scenes.
All right,
you
bro.
right here have a list of people.
All right, you're going to get me banned from TikTok. I agree with you in terms of the fact that they control things, but you cannot be saying that on TikTok, brother. You're going to get me
It was getting so esoteric, he was definitely about to get you banned.
Brother's going to get me banned talking about freaking the Jays like that, bro. You can't be doing that. You get me. I want to keep streaming.
Not Twitter.
You're going to get me banned till freaking 2040 doing that.
I'll chill. My bad.
Oh, okay.
I'll be a good boy.
Where's Mirik at? I'm pretty sure. I thought I put him in here. I know. I would say
where you
that,
put
like,
Zay at, man?
I would say that I put him or Zay.
Yeah.
I would say,
You gotta put Zay at high.
I haven't done any formal debates, but I've debated high tier people. I don't know, either put me at pretty good or extremely low high tier, one of the two.
You gotta put Zay at high tier, man.
I would say that I put him at the top of pretty good, like around like here, like Korra, right? Korra Nihilist. I'd say that's pretty good.
Hey, don't disrespect Zay like that, bro.
Not disrespecting, bro. I mean, Korra knows a lot. You know, it's not just based off of the fact that they are like that they're somebody who has a bad position or something. If they are able to argue for that position well and use good rhetoric and stuff like that, that matters towards them being good at debating. Not necessarily if their position is actually a good position.
So I haven't been debating a lot.
The chaotic cookie debater that only debates Florence. Yeah. I would say that he's pretty good.
You know who I'm debating next, Bryce J and Zay?
Around like here. Who are you debating next?
I'm debating Gumbo. If Jesus Christ is God according to Scripture, and we can use pre-Nicene Christians as authorities.
Yeah, that's going to be a clean sweep.
Oh yeah, but I'm not even going to touch the church fathers. I'm just going to use Scripture.
Oh, well, that's even better, bro.
Yeah.
Abdul. Yeah, Abdul's high tier.
Someone said Ahmed Qureshi. He's S tier for sure.
Honestly, I would say probably Abdul's right there. You said Ahmed Qureshi?
Yeah, he's like S tier for sure.
Yeah, no. I would say that maybe he's like the bottom of decent.
Wow.
I mean, like the arguments that he uses, like I haven't actually put anybody in stop debating yet. I think it's because, oh, actually, I do got some. Elizabeth Natsarim, that's one of them.
Who's that?
She's a Natsarim person who doesn't actually, like, she doesn't actually make any arguments. She just asks questions pretty much infinitely, and that's all she does.
That's a method, bro. Unbeatable method, bro. Can't lie.
Reductio's high tier up here. Yaqub the Mohammedan. I don't know Yaqub. I don't know.
You know from Muslim Lighthouse, that guy?
Oh, that guy. Yeah. I don't know, because I put Umar up here. From Muslim Lighthouse, but I guess I could say that Yaqub is next to him. I think maybe like right here. Yeah, they're right next to Umar. I'd say they're about the same. You know, they're pretty good.
Let me think.
TikTok. It's TikTok debaters specifically, Dion. By the way, this list is not like that other one I made. This is specifically TikTokers.
Specifically TikTokers. Where are you putting Halal Mutta at, bro?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I don't think she's a good debater, but at the same time, I don't think that she's in stop debating tier with like Elizabeth. Elizabeth argues like a boomer.
Who's Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Natsarim. You've never seen her?
I mean, I don't know, bro. I've been increasing in theosis. I haven't really been seeing a lot of depraved people that much.
Oh, well, fair enough then. James, I'd rate you, but I've never seen you debate anybody. I've only ever seen you put skull emojis in chats.
Where would you put Divine Mercy Apologetics?
Oh, Dom. I would say that he's like right here. No. I think he clears Moses. You know what? I think he's next to Bear. I think Dom is next to Bear. Oh, Jesus and whatnot, he's down here on decent. When it comes to actually, wait, no, I would make him pretty good because the stuff he does argue, the stuff he has done formal debates on have been pretty damn good. But I was kind of judging it from the way that he attempts to. If he debated against an Orthodox, I would have a better opinion on him. But he made a video of trying to debunk Orthodoxy and got bullied into deleting it. So again, that's just.
What about Catholic Sam?
Catholic Sam, I haven't seen too much of his debates, only his videos. Like, I've only ever really seen his videos.
What about Divine Mercy Apologetics?
Divine Mercy is, I think he's with you, I'd say.
Bro, he has to be higher than me, bro, because he teaches me everything I know. He has to be higher than me.
All right, I'll put him right here next to you. One tag up. Word and I?
Nah, man, you gotta give him his credits, bro.
Word and I would definitely put. Word and I definitely like up here around like Dom, Bear the Image, and those guys. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh, Need God. Need God is honestly probably at stop debating.
Buns.
Yeah, he doesn't actually like make arguments at all. He has zero rhetoric. He just gets rolled in conversations. He's so bad at like actually trying to address things. It's not even funny. Oh, Brenton.
Super cringe. He's extremely cringe.
He gives you the death stare now if you look at him.
Yeah. No, Brenton's in here. I'd say that he's like right there in heights here. I do think he's pretty heights here. I've seen him debate multiple times, and he knows a lot. So I'd say Brenton. Christian Prince, I don't think does TikToks. Rainier on YouTube.
Where would you put
Taco Talks.
Bro, that guy doesn't debate,
He
bro.
doesn't make arguments. Stop debating. I put him there.
Yeah, honestly. Oh,
Where would you put
Jacob I put like right here.
where would you put Sam Shamoon?
If he was on I mean,
He does TikTok debates, bro. He's done it before.
I'm not sure, dude, because like I liked him a lot. Like when
You
I
were
first
live with
started
him with
watching
Nick.
Yeah, I know that I was live with him, but like it's more like I don't know how to explain it.
He retains an exceptional knowledge for being able to recall certain verses and making them connect together. So I'd say more than most people can.
I'm not going to
do,
put
so
him
I'd
on this
say-
list because he's not like a consistent TikTok debater. I don't think that really applies. Nick is not high tier. That's how you know this list is a flop. Name one person he lost to. Get out of here, bro. You're just coping.
Yeah, that's the equivalent. That's the equivalent to like name 5 DDG songs.
Name 10 books, bro. Name 10 books. All right, freaking Big John Steele. I would put like high in the pretty good section, right?
Inspiring philosophy.
Libiano.
Libiano's already on here. He's at the bottom of pretty good.
Damn.
Someone said inspiring philosophy.
He's pretty good.
Inspiring philosophy. Does he do TikTok stuff though?
He doesn't, bro. No, the one time he did TikTok stuff, bro. Yeah, he low-key kind of got folded by Danny. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
He did TikTok stuff before.
He's very, bro. I look, as much like it's kind of his name's Inspiring Philosophy, but like he's like good at other stuff than philosophy.
I mean, he does like textual criticism.
Yeah, that's really good. He has good textual criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are you putting more in that?
I name one debate he's been in.
I forgot the guy's name, but I've seen him debate.
Oh, Moro. Moro, I would say is like down here, but like he's in high tier overall. He knows a lot, dude. Like I can't even lie. I'd say he's like probably like right there. You know, like above like Talon one way. That way.
Where are you putting Father Deacon Ananias?
He doesn't do TikTok.
It would be as like he's pioneered fallacies, which is kind of.
I already got Vienna. He's up here.
Where are you putting Michael? In the comments.
Michael. Oh, that Michael?
Yeah.
Oh, I would say that he's like high in the high tier.
Not the one guy who like LARPed as an EO and just says he hates Christians and black people. Not that guy.
Orthodox. Let's see. Oh, King Sylv. Yeah. King Sylv is high tier, I'd say. I'd say he's like right here, maybe. I gotta.
Someone said for you to zoom in.
What?
Someone said to zoom in. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good.
Christ is Lord. Are you talking about Earth, Wind, and Holy Fire?
George.
Yeah. So he's like right there. A lot of high tier people on this app, I'd say. At least my opinion, of course.
Where would you put Saint Cyril of Alexandria?
S tier, above everyone else.
No, like the TikToker.
Oh, like the Miaphysite guy?
Yeah, bro. What the hell? You think I'm talking about the actual Saint Cyril?
I thought you were just messing with me, bro.
No.
I'd say he's like top of pretty good overall.
Where would you put Bible Bald at?
I don't know who that is.
In the comments, Bible Bald?
PMARS is decent. Like right there. Dean responds. I mean, that's like down here, bro. Like, I don't know about that one. I mean, he's got like regular dawa, bro. Or would you put Bible in context? I don't know that guy. I know who Juju is, Michael, but I didn't put him on here because I've only ever seen him debate once, and it was against Korah. And I will admit that I think he folded Korah, but at the same time, how is Rumi better than Orthodox? Are you saying how is Rumi better than Libiano? I can name like a lot of reasons.
Where would you put? Where did you put God Logic on here already?
Yeah, he's right here.
Interesting.
Overall, I would say that he can be here. Rank Aaron Raw. Aaron Raw is a stop debating guy, bro. I literally just formally debated him like 3 days ago. He is hands down one of the worst debaters I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, he's so bad. He would not be applied to this at all.
Is his last name like actually Raw?
Yeah. Aaron Raw. Aron Raw.
Pagan boy.
Dean is better than Libiano. Actually, low-key, you're kind of right. I think you're kind of right, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He is better than Orthodox Muslim. Honorius.
Where are you putting Honorius? Pretty good?
Yeah, I'd say he's pretty good.
Pretty good. Where would you put Schoolboy Q?
But here's the thing, though, bro, because I don't know if I would just keep Honorius here. I already put Schoolboy on here. He's around here. Yeah, he's right.
Pretty good.
But Honorius, right? Like the thing with Honorius is that I think he deserves to be there, but I also think that Talon deserves to be where he is. But I also, for some reason, also think that Honorius is in a sense better than Talon. I don't know how to explain.
Schoolboy's saying to like rise him, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Al.
Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's.
Al, decent down here.
I could, yeah.
Where do you have me,
right
Bryce?
Here. With
pretty
Twax
good.
And Twax Funi.
Who's in the tier above me? I just need to know that.
Vienna, Sig, Kojo, Michael, the Cross dude, KB Crusader, God Logic, Reductio, Abdul Masih, Nick.
Oh, come on.
King
Come on.
Phil.
You think I can't hang? You think I can't hang there?
With these people specifically, I would just say no. It's just my opinion.
I'm above you, Schoolboy.
What?
You know
Because I don't bring quote mines and I don't like well research.
That's exactly why.
Yeah.
What? Do you think if I put work into it and actually took formal debates, you think I wouldn't do that?
No, I think that if you did put work into that and did formal debates, I think you'd be up here.
That's fair.
That's what I meant by that. Jordan Travis. That's a good one to put on here, bro. I would say that honestly.
That's high tier right there.
Yeah, Jordan Travis is pretty damn good. Like really good with the stuff he does talk about. Darth Dog.
You should do separate ones based on. You should do separate lists based on strengths and weaknesses because, to be honest, like rhetoric wise, being able to actually like cut to the quick of an argument, like that's probably one of my strengths.
Schoolboy just gets plus 5 points for his beard.
Wait, what are you talking about, bro? Like the amount of times that like when somebody, and like this is me just messing with you, right? But like freaking, that there's plenty of times where somebody will respond to you and then you'll wait like 10 seconds before you speak.
Because I pause.
Yeah, dude. Like it's being the quick on your toes thing. That's the thing you just said, right?
I mean, rhetoric wise, I just did it there. Like rhetoric wise,
yeah,
though,
just
like,
did
actually, yeah, that's just how I am. I process. I think before I speak. Is that a bad thing?
Take a long time to think.
There's a lot going on up there.
Big think.
Bro's not the thinker.
Big think, bro. Abraham.
Do you think about thinking?
Have you seen the size of my forehead and my hairline? I know it's not quite like Bryce's hairline, but.
Oh yeah, man. Bryce's hairline, bro. This guy looks like a church father with that thing, bro.
I mean, bro,
Hey, look, dude. First off, you keep making fun of me now,
he's
bro.
pushing Megamind right now.
Bro, you keep making fun of me now, but I'm telling you what, bro. I'm on
Minoxidil
finasteride and
maxing, bro.
minoxidil. No, I'm on finasteride.
Yeah,
and
minoxidil maxing, bro.
Are you really on minoxidil?
Yeah, I am. I'm on minoxidil.
Hey, once
and
you stop
finasteride.
that, you're done.
I just will never stop. It's
So,
too easy.
you just never stop?
Yep. Can't stop, won't stop, bro.
No, I don't have the Chrysostom hairline, Anthony. Cut it out. I've got a whole lot of this stuff. My hair is actually getting like
on Retta and Giku soon. That sounds illegal, bro. Like that shit sounds illegal. I don't know what that is.
Like illegal Mexican stuff?
Yeah, that sounds like some freaking third world country products that probably work almost instantly, but it has a chance at killing you every time you take a pill. Like that's what that shit sounds like, bro. I'm not doing that. Eliza Johnson.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, see that right here.
Where are you putting yourself, Bryce J?
I don't want to put myself on the list. I don't like doing that shit.
Can I put yourself somewhere?
Sure, bro.
I'd say pretty good.
Thanks. Good enough for me. Cora blundered in her debate with Elijah. I haven't seen it. I'd have to change this if I saw it, but I already put Amin on here, bro.
I would happily admit that Bryce is a better debater than I am.
It's good, man.
You'd have to scroll down a bit to put yourself on there. All right, so. That's fair. It was a bad blunder. I have to see it again.
I would say Bryce is a better debater than I am based on patience alone.
Yeah, dude. It's the stoicism, bro. It's just GG's. Those people off too. It's
the fact that it's the fact that you have kids. Like you upped your debate skills just having to deal with toddlers.
I mean, that's true, bro. Wait, if it's
Someone's asking about a guy named Twax. Who's Twax?
Twax? I got Twax on here. He's like right here.
Someone said, "How is Twax not S tier or at least high?"
I don't know.
Bryce, did you catch the exchange that John, Jakob, and myself had with graphics last night?
No, I did not.
Bruh. Graphics defined death as separation from God, and then I asked him if Jesus experienced death, and he said yes.
God separated from God, bro. Let's go.
Dude, it was bad.
Let's go, man.
How is Peace above Hero, Zero, and Justin? Let's be for real. Well, because Hero, Zero, and Justin only have the ability to debate pretty much one singular topic. And Peace literally like freaking just pure logic. Can you name anything else they've ever debated, Dion?
I mean, if we're talking Zero, bro, I mean, the guy has some pretty fire slideshows.
That are arguments from logic.
I mean, logic exists. I mean,
Orthodox Phronima, dude, honestly, I would have to say that he's high tier, bro. Like, that dude has got scripture down, bro.
Yo, what are you rating tempo?
Basil, I don't know. He doesn't debate anymore at all. He quit doing that. So I would just say that's probably not something that I'm gonna put on.
I mean, based on the fact that when I asked him if when he says PSA, if it means the same thing that Calvin does, and he said yes, and
yeah, he just decided that he doesn't want to do apologetic stuff anymore. So I'm just honoring that. But
that knocks him down like 2 tiers in my book.
The
Schoolboy.
You have Joshi on there? No, I don't have Joshi on here. He doesn't debate anymore either, I'm pretty sure, right?
What's up, Dion?
You wear a bow tie, don't you?
Never. I would never wear a bow tie.
I think you're lying to me.
I despise them. I would wear an ascot before a bow tie.
I think you're lying to me.
I have never owned a bow tie, and I never will.
I think you're lying to me.
Okay, that's fine. You can think that.
You think it's fine for me to think that you're lying to me, which is a grave sin condemnable to hell? Wow.
Why is it a grave sin for me to be okay with you thinking something?
You're okay with me thinking something? Are you okay with me thinking something which is false?
I mean, God gave you free will, didn't he?
So you're gonna let me be?
I can't impose my will on you, bro.
Says who? You can do that.
I can try to, but I can't
Yeah,
impose it.
exactly. No, you can.
You know, like, honestly, if you ask me, I think that, you know, if you think we don't affirm pure act in the same way that the Latins do, then, like, you should be, you know, off the tier list. But that's just me.
Let's go. W pure act. Let's go. Latins mentioned. Let's go.
W antagonization from people. I love it. Anyway, where'd my stuff go?
Oh, you're next, Bryce J.
That's fine. I can get antagonized.
Bryce Jamison.
Thomas Apologia. I mean, like, I think he's really smart, but I also don't think he debates like a lot, like mostly at all.
Schoolboy, how long have you been growing your hair for?
I have not cut my hair for about 2.5 years.
Wow.
Beard I've trimmed. Hair I haven't touched.
Do you silk press it?
No, I literally just like shampoo it. Maybe put conditioner like maybe once every 2 weeks.
You should silk press. Is this a Jew that just joined? Swamp Man Anthony?
Oh yeah, what's up?
Are you a Jew?
I am not a Jew.
Oh,
that's crazy.
I'm sorry. You got the hat, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, Constantine.
No, you're good. You're good.
I've done 2v2s with Constantine, bro. That dude's high tier for sure. He's really smart.
Yeah, well, yeah. What about Jay the Lutheran? Jay the Lutheran?
Bryce, if you want some entertainment besides this list, you should go to Jakob's page and pull up the video from like he clipped last night into like a pretty good summary. You'll enjoy it.
I might look at it in a little bit, but I'm doing this right now. Put Jay next to Funi. I think he's better than. I think he's overall just kind of like better than Funi when it comes to like general arguments. Christ Codex.
Wow.
Christ Codex.
Pretty good.
Wait a second. So you've got Ananda in S tier, even though Ananda ran from the deontological argument about terminology that I brought.
No, I put that based off of his formal debates and his just general rhetoric that he has, because he has formal debates on that stuff, and I honestly like would say that like he's just one of the best ones in a general sense.
I don't think his rhetoric's that strong.
Yo, it's Christ Codex. What's up, Bernard?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yo, what's up, man?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I need like prayer, dude. Satan's trying to turn me into a coward. It's so bad.
Why is that, bro?
I'll pray for you, man.
You got, like,
I don't know, like
requests and you just don't want to do it, or what?
No, it's just one of those things where like every single piece of doubt creeps into my mind about every single possible objection that you could ever bring ever. So then I think, what if there's an objection that I'm unprepared for in this exact moment, and then it embarrasses me, and you know what I mean?
That just means you're not well prepared enough.
Right. Like, and one of the things I think the weakness that I have is like, I feel like one of my strong suits is like being able to correlate scripture in terms of Old Testament and Tanakh and New Testament specifically. And I've been studying a lot of the Greek and Hebrew, but I need like a metaphysics, like I need a deep dive into the metaphysics of the Trinity. And I understand like most of the surface level stuff, but I see people like, Agan or Agent and their depth, and it's very impressive to me. And I'm trying to like seek that.
Yeah.
So I don't know where to go for that.
I have a good work for you that'll get you.
What's your background? I don't know you, Bernard. Like, sorry. Like, I just.
No, it's okay. I don't really. It's all right. But I did a lot of Islamic debates, and I debated atheists. I have a lot of arguments for them, and I've done like papers and things like that.
What are you, Catholic?
Yeah, I'm Catholic. Well, okay. We're not starting.
Yeah, no wonder you have doubts.
I don't want to start. I don't want to engage a filioque debate right now, but just saying, because I know you're Eastern Orthodox, but. We can get into that at some point, like a friendly discussion. But
no, I would love that. I would rather, dude, where I'm at now, I'd rather friendly discussions and like conversations than debates myself.
Yeah, my bad. One of the things that made me stop like posting as much was kind of just like meditation, and also I guess you could say like I plan on getting started with debate again. Like I've been really like meditating on the Spirit of God recently, and I've just been trying to learn. I've been studying a lot of church history. I just bought
No.
Athanasius on.
When you say the Spirit of God, do you mean the Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
And does the Holy Spirit proceed from the Father or from
All
the
right,
Father?
no, I'm done, bro. I'm done. I'm done.
I'm trolling. I'm just
The
having
best
fun.
work,
know.
the best work that I would say that's really good to like understand the Trinity in like a pretty heavy metaphysical manner. That's not like ridiculously hard to like read.
Gregory of Nyssa, not
The-
three gods.
that is a good one to read, but like I would on if you want like an
Not
overall
complicated.
just like everything, bro. Stop for a second, bro. Trust. All
You
right.
got a delay. My bad, bro.
I don't have a delay. You're just freaking. I think you got a delay in your brain, bro. Just chill out for a second.
I'm not
The-
That's
Singapore.
me. That's me.
All right. No, I would say that St. John of Damascus's Fount of Knowledge, the entirety of it, including the philosophical chapters and the exposition of the Orthodox faith, is probably the best thing to do, man. Like
Okay.
like St. John of Damascus is like probably the best one for that.
I think it's funny because my friend literally just. Do you know what exact book you're talking about, or is it just like a compilation of everything?
It's called Fount of Knowledge. It's actually 3 different works. So it's the like the philosophical chapters on heresies and the exact exposition of the Orthodox faith.
Okay. You know what I'm reading? Well, I'm about to start reading right now, which is cool. I just got it for Christmas. Was Athanasius on the Incarnation. I know I should have read it sooner, but I also got on the Decrees of Nicaea. But I'm like behind on the fathers in terms of, you know, like reading their works truly. I just kind of am behind there. Like I've been really locked in with recently church history, and
Dude,
I realized
Bryce's recommendation is probably like top tier as far as like if you're looking for a good metaphysical grounding, understanding philosophical language better,
right.
And also anti-filioque arguments.
All right, I'm done.
But he's a doctor of your church, bro.
Look, Bernard, it's okay. Just use Gregory of Nyssa, bro.
Right. But
Just
Bryce, where
read
do you
Gregory of Nyssa,
put
not
me?
three
I'm not
gods.
expecting anything great here. But
I haven't seen like a ton of your stuff, man. Like I'm gonna be real. Like I know that you exist. I know that people talk about you a lot. But I've seen a couple, like I've seen your videos of you like debating people, and like from what I've seen, like I would say you're kind of like next to Jordan Travis, like right here. Like,
I don't know who Jordan Travis is.
He's somebody that's also on TikTok. He's another Catholic. He's pretty high tier, honestly. Like,
He's
I know
Catholic?
that yeah, I mean he's at least
Wait,
a Thomist. I know that.
I thought he was Eastern Orthodox.
No, bro, I think Jordan's a Thomist, bro.
Bro, another Catholic win. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a Thomist. He's really smart though. But yeah, I'd probably put you at like here in high tier, right down here.
I appreciate that.
Nah, read Fount of Knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great work.
Well, I'll take that advice. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure thing, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Actually, hold on. Let me show you guys real quick. I know it's like so stupid, but I don't care. I just built a shelf. I'll show you.
Let's go, bro.
New shelf going on. Hold on. I'm standing up. Right here.
You're really starting off 2026
My
with some masculine shit. I love it, bro. Let's go. Building shelves.
Yeah.
You ever built a
Bryce,
shelf?
I'm just
before?
mad that every time someone wants to have a formal debate, they end up running with me.
Yeah. Who you requested with Albie, right?
Me and Albie, I've tried to like reestablish that. Like 2 weeks ago, I was on his panel and I tried to bring it back up, and he ran
You know
again.
why he doesn't want to debate you, schoolboy?
I don't know.
Don't take offense, bro, but it's because like you don't have enough engagement like he does.
Yeah,
why. He
that's
does prefer
fine. I get
engagement.
it. Like no, but that's where it's just like that's sad. Like if it's
Yeah,
based on
crucified. I
clout,
saw it come, by the way.
if it's based on clout, then that's not like in the true spirit of what we should be doing. I don't care about
Well,
clout.
that's the thing,
at
because like
all.
if you debated Albie and Albie has a big platform and you debated on a big platform and you obliterated him,
No,
then
I
you
get
basically
it.
just
I
like,
get it.
bro,
I get
you
it.
do like
It
some
goes
ninjutsu,
against
like
it.
just
Yeah,
steal his
no,
clout.
I know it goes against his vainglory and his pride that he's cultivating for himself.
Oh yeah, but the guy started going crazy on me, bro, when he was talking about Mary and everything. He was like,
Yeah, Dion, you were there that night that I hopped on the panel, right?
which panel?
Like 2 weeks ago. Like he had a live, and I hopped back up and I brought up that like he had challenged
Was
me.
he hosting it?
He was hosting it. Yes.
No, I think that guy has me blocked.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, bro. Because he was calling my mother a WHORE, and I said my mother's Mary, and then he kept saying it again. So
Yeah, just call him Sam Shamoon Jr.
I wouldn't even do that, bro. Sam Shamoon actually.
He hates it. It's so funny.
No,
I did that in the
Sam
first time.
Sam Shamoon burned the adoption papers, bro. So I wouldn't call him Junior.
I don't
Bro,
know
I'll
why people
formally
keep
debate
saying
you, schoolboy.
Wagner doesn't freaking do formal debates.
Yeah, he doesn't do
anymore at all,
TikTok.
and he doesn't do TikTok.
I will formally debate schoolboy on what's the proper length of a beard right now. 10-minute opening, 10-minute rebuttal, 15-minute cross exam,
Dude,
5-minute
I gotta
closing.
go to bed.
Let's go.
So hold on. No, that's fine. And you know what? Like I need a clarifier question, right? I need you to cam up and show your cheek, like your
what?
cheek beard that you have. Yeah. I caught myself before I said it.
Yo.
Clip it.
Listen, brother, can I tell you something, brother? Yo, schoolboy, I know you're on your way to theosis, brother, and I'd hate for me to turn my camera on and you fall down from the ladder. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it off.
That's fine. Cam up and show your cheeks, bro.
Damn, bro.
No.
Dion is so humble, bro. He's so humble.
Dion's so humble, so pious Maxine. Let's go.
Pious Maxine, W.
You know what's something
so
I
humble
learned?
that I don't even display my fruits, bro.
Shepherd of Hermes is incredible. It's beautiful.
Bro, the Shepherd of Hermes was actually written by Pope Pius I's brother.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the Shepherd of Hermes, he was Pope Pius I's brother.
Was he really?
He was like the fourth or fifth pope, yeah.
I thought it was earlier.
That's something I learned. No.
Well, Shepherd of Hermes
gotta
is what?
understand,
Like,
bro.
it's
you gotta
it's like
understand,
is it 3rd century or is it 2nd century?
It's 2nd century, but you got to understand, Pope Clement the First, he was the 3rd pope, and he was pope in the 1st century.
Right. So, it is shorter terms than we're probably used to.
Yeah.
All right, yo, I'll catch you guys later. I appreciate everything.
Yeah, sure thing, bro.
Later, bro.
God bless. Wait, no. Show us the shelf.
Oh yeah, I didn't show you yet. I got you. Hold on. Let me stand up on my bed. I also got I had a lot of stuff in my room that wasn't godly. I had to get rid of it recently. The problem is I hold on to like things sentimentally. It's just emotional and it's wrong. But here, let me save this real quick. You see?
Wow.
Yeah. I have a list on Amazon. I got some gift cards, so I'm going to try to fill up this and then read everything through. So I got my Bibles over here, and then it kind of transitions to the Catechism, and then it goes through Aquinas, and goes down until like secular stuff.
No, I go golf. But you're such freaking cornball, like 30-year-old, bro. This guy. Bernard W. Shelf, bro. That's awesome. God bless you. That God gifted you the ability to read, bro. That's awesome. He didn't give that ability to me. So.
I mean, me either. That's the paradox. I'm a tonsured reader who can't read.
When I read the Bible, bro, I have to put the audio thing, and then I hear it like audio read.
Really?
You know. And I actually like it because I'll sit there, like let's say when it's talking about the Amalekites or whatever and everything, I can sit there, listen, and I imagine it in my head.
Right. No, I get that. That's what I did when I was in Exodus and it started talking about the building of the Ark of the Covenant, and same with Leviticus. I did the same thing on Bible Gateway, and it helped. But whenever I do that, when I'm actually trying to like focus, it doesn't work because I want to stop in case I need to, and then I gotta sit there, go to the next tab, and pause it, and it kind of disrupts my flow, I guess. So I agree with you, but only on stuff that I'm not trying to 100% lock in on. So I kind of like autopilot when I do that.
Bryce, when I tell you that, like, I don't know.
Well, I'll see you guys. Appreciate everything. Bye-bye.
I was
Douglas
reading.
Bernard.
I was reading Exodus about like the building of the Ark of the Covenant and God commanding Moses how to do it. When I tell you the logisme that I experienced during those passages,
Bro, please use English, bro.
no,
Please.
no.
I need to understand.
You
Bro,
won't
I think
understand
you just
until
made that word up, bro.
you won't understand until you're actually part of the body
Did you
of
just say
Christ.
that he made that up, bro? Oh my god.
Bro, I've never heard that word used ever in my
Saint
life.
Maximus uses it a lot, bro.
Does he?
Yes.
You read it in Greek?
What, dude? The word's translated into English. You goober.
Wait, did Maximus write in Greek or Latin?
He wrote in Greek.
Oh, I thought it was Latin.
Wait a minute. Maximus Greek? Wait a minute.
Yeah. I'm saying the same
Saint
thing,
Maximus the
Smart.
Confessor. Did he write in Latin? I don't think he did. Did he?
He wrote. Look,
Both.
Google it right now.
Both.
No, I got St. Maximus in Greek right here.
Oh, he did both.
Look at
Oh
it.
snap!
That
But
makes sense.
he was capable of writing in Latin as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, duh, bro. He was in the West. Let's go. West is the best. East is the least. Come on now.
Bro, he wasn't in the West, bro. He was from Palestine.
I'm actually curious, Dion. Have you ever read any St. John Cassian?
I actually have, yeah, a little bit.
St. John Cassian's. I really enjoy reading his writings because he's the only desert father who wrote in Latin.
Did he actually write in Latin?
Yeah, he's the only Latin desert father.
Wow. I didn't even know that, honestly. You see, can I tell you why, schoolboy, I like Latin so much? Because like a lot of like English is basically like Latin and German watered down.
It's similar. There's a familiarity, right?
Exactly. So like for example, we would say similar. In Latin, it would be similitude, right? So like you can comprehend that. But like in Greek, bro, like look, you have a triangle right there. That's the letter D. That's a triangle, but it's the letter D. Yeah, exactly.
It's delta, which in the Western world just merely represents change when you talk about physics or calculus.
Right. But like that's just it just like it hurts my brain.
Think about that though. Like you have like the letter D is the fourth letter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go from A B C. You have this trinity, and then there's a change.
What?
Yeah,
Schizo hours, bro.
VOD is not.
But I do think I do like Greek though. It is pretty lit, bro. I do. I've been reading.
Greek is more precise than Latin ever can be. It is.
I'd say it's more precise than Hebrew. I'll give you that.
It's more precise than Latin too.
I don't know if I would agree with that. I'd agree with Hebrew though, definitely.
Bro, just the word proceed in Latin when it says proceedit, right?
There's like different proceeds in Latin.
It's not you're pronouncing the C like we would with Spanish, but it's actually procedit.
Procedit, okay. Yeah, like the word like for proceed is procedit in Latin, and there's like 8 different ways to say it in Greek.
Ekperumenon. Yep.
Proeni or whatever.
Yep.
I don't know. I think top 3 languages: Aramaic, Latin, and Greek.
Greek is, when it comes to philosophy, it goes Greek, English, then German.
What?
Yes.
English?
Yes.
Why?
Because we can
all
have
the stuff that we can say, dude.
It may take more verbosity, like it may take a longer explanation in English, but we can be extremely specific with our language in English. And German's also like that.
You don't think Latin's like that?
No, it has ambiguity.
No, I wouldn't say so.
It does.
No.
It lacks the precision necessary for these conversations.
No. Let's talk Latin right now.
Procedit.
You're just saying proceed.
Does that mean to come forth from a source, or does that mean to come through something?
Depends how you're saying it.
It means both in Latin.
No, it depends how you're
It's
saying
a single word for both in Latin.
No, it depends how you're saying it.
That's what I'm talking about. There is no precision in Latin. That's why Greek is superior. When it comes to philosophy, Greek is the pinnacle of language, like for just the utility of a semantic set.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Oh yeah. Really? Maximus the Confessor really liked Latin when he wrote in Latin.
Well, but he was also very sharp about the way that he delineated the Latin usage of these words. Have you read the letter to Marinus?
I don't recall that's a thing. What is that?
It was rejected 3 times at the Council of Florence. Stop rage baiting, bro.
This dude's rage baiting.
I don't know. I'm serious. I never heard of such document.
So
never heard of such document. What that is.
What that is.
What it is, though.
What that is.
You keep a Sabbath.
Yeah, they're in perichoresis with each other. What that is.
Yeah.
Yo, schoolboy, do you know I'm gonna be debating Gumbo, bro?
Good for you. He's run from Bryce enough. Like, at least someone's debating him.
Bro, I'm gonna... the reason why I spoke about Greek is better than Hebrew, bro, is because I'm gonna body that guy.
Well, Hebrew is very symbolic. Well, Hebrew is very symbolic. Like, there's a poetic nature to Hebrew itself, but it's not precise.
It's not even ancient Hebrew what we have. Ancient Hebrew, I'd say, is different. I'd say Aramaic.
There's people that actually argue that, like, quote unquote ancient Hebrew actually came from like a Proto-Grecian written language, and it was actually like adopted by the Hebrews.
Yeah, Dion.
Oh yeah. I like Aramaic. I think Aramaic out of the Semitic languages, I think is pretty based.
Yeah, just become a Muslim. I mean, they worship the same God as you anyway.
I mean, it depends what kind of Muslim we're talking about.
All right. Anyway,
hey, bro.
I love rhetorical banter. You know that.
I know you do, bro. It's okay, man.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and end stream. It's 11 o'clock. I'm going to bed.
No.
Yes.